Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. All right, a little bit late. Sorry I was late. Late getting off work and getting home tonight. But I wanted to go 10:15 Eastern, but it's 10:30, so about 15 minutes late. And I do apologize for that. Um, I want to welcome everybody tonight. By the book, good to see you, Nicola Taylor, Miss Valentine. Good to see you. And everybody coming on board, good to see you. All right, tonight's topic. All right, I want to talk about black women, white men alliances. Does it exist? Does it need to exist? Okay, I believe it does exist, but it needs to be stronger. I really do. When it comes to interracial relationships, so black women, white men could get to know each other better. And when I say white men, it's not just white men, Hispanic, Asian, uh, they're included too. But we need to have that alliance. I believe we do. And I've been told we have this alliance by black men that say it's somehow white supremacy and we're colluding together or whatever. Um, but I believe we need to have an alliance to get to know each other when it comes to dating, marriage, and open up our options. Okay. It's best to be in an ocean than a pond, right? You have better options. You have better chance of meeting quality people. Okay. And I want to talk about that alliance today. And do you believe there is an alliance with black women, white men? Or do you think there should be one? Or should we just, stay within our community? And if it happens that we interracially get together, then great. But if not, or do you think we should deliberately date outside our race? Should we, you know, reach out to each other? I think we should. I mean, when I look at stats, black women and white men are the most successful interracially. Well, most successful within marriage. Um, so I mean, if you're looking at numbers, um, but what I would say is just get somebody of character that really loves you and that's going to be there. Get you a man that's going love, protect, and provide. You know, and guys you know get with a woman that's going to be by your side, love you, and support you. Um, there definitely should be an alliance. Yes, I agree. I think there is a small alliance. There is. We're starting to open up our options. Okay, interracial relationships is growing every day, and we're finding success within black women and white men. Okay, I want to show you a video. Okay, and what this young lady is doing a reaction on YouTube of another young lady we've seen, and she's going to get her perspective, um, and how black women are treated. You know, and I'll play this, and you tell me what you think. Is it true, or is it just a misconception, or you make the call, right? Okay. Before I do that, let me put up the Copyright disclaimer. There it is. You see it almost every video, every live show I have that I show a video. But I got to put that out there. Um, so I'm put it out there. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Go ahead and read it. If you need to go back. All right. Go ahead and take that off the screen. Okay. All right. As of 2018, data shows that white men, black women combination was less likely to divorce. And that's compared to white people. I seen that stat. A white man and white woman. Okay, our marriage is stronger than two white people, two black people. Let that sink in. Okay, when we're attacked the most for dating out, we're the most successful. Okay. All right. Now let me show you this TikTok. And then, hey guys, I got 4 comments from trolls. I'm going to honor some trolls tonight when I talk about our alliance, because we need to have one. And black women, white men having an alliance, which we do have one. It's not humongous, but it does exist. And it's not a white supremacy thing like these weirdos try to make you believe. No, it's an alliance of love, of uplifting each other and getting the best result when it comes to marriage by lifting each other up. Okay. And when you're in a marriage, you're in an alliance. Are you not? It's a partnership between a man and woman, husband and wife. And you do have that alliance. So there is alliance within marriage, within dating, and friendships. Okay. I have several black women that are my friends. That is an alliance. And a number of them think the way I do when it comes to interracial relationships. Some don't, and that's fine. But that alliance does exist. It needs to grow, though. It needs to get bigger. Okay, we need to open up our options. We really do. Well, let me add this to the stream.
Y'all gonna cancel me, but
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and watch this. You remember that young lady out there that announced she's going to open up her options and date men of other races? Let's go ahead and watch it. It says, unfortunately, I never experienced healthy with black men, and this can't be overlooked. I'm dating for longevity and love. Okay, and we all should date for longevity and love, right? Swirl to investment to marriage. Okay, let me go ahead and play it.
Y'all gonna cancel me, but today marks the day that I will be dating outside of my race. And I know what you're about to say. Aren't you pro-black? I am.
That was hilarious. All right.
Black woman. The most hate I get is from my own men. And me restricting myself to only dating black men is giving me little to no options. Because there's only like a small group of black men who actually like women like me. And trust me, I've been trying to educate black men about colorism, futurism, texturism my whole damn life. I do it on my platform every day.
Okay, is that true, guys? She says that that her type is a type most black men don't like. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, she's an attractive young lady, right? Both of these ladies are. But that's not the type black men like. That's what she's saying. And they did go in on this young lady about saying that, opening up her options. But I've heard that black men, well, not all, but a number of them do not like dark-skinned black women. And I've heard black men say that they prefer lighter-skinned black women. I mean, to me, that's silly. I mean, a beautiful woman's a beautiful woman, whether she's light or dark. I mean, it just seems silly. But I've heard that too. I've heard black men actually say that. But anyway, let's continue.
But a lot of them choose to stay dense and ignorant. And I'm sorry, but you're not about to ask me to wait for these men to stop being colorist. I cannot wait any longer for these men to stop the self-hatred. I want to go where I'm wanted. I'm tired of sitting in places where I'm not wanted and try to convince the people that I should be desired. I'm sorry, but I'm done with that. So from this day forward, Shakira will be looking outside of her race when it comes to dating. Not saying I'm not going to date black men. I definitely will. But to expand my options, yes, I will be dating outside of my race. Unapologetically.
All right. Not have okay. So that is true, unfortunately, right? There are a lot of black women don't like dark skin. A lot of black men don't like dark skinned black women. Isn't that a form of colorism? Isn't that a form of white supremacy? I know that people are talking about white supremacy all the time. Isn't that a form of it? You're practicing it. You're saying that lighter is better, are you not? Now you can be attracted to someone that's lighter, but putting it that way, showing hate to young ladies like this because they're dark. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, let's continue.
Thank you very much.
At this point, I'm convinced the algorithm can hear my thoughts because there's no way I could have been thinking about that shit for the past 2 days. And I just told myself, honestly, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk about black men anymore. I'm not going to point out the ways in which they tend to go wrong. I don't want to give black women any more advice on how to avoid particular kind of black men. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to encourage women to find love. And I feel like the things that I'm teaching them is important. It applies to all races or anyone you plan to date. But for some reason, a lot of women have to be specific in pointing out, be careful when you date black men, simply because this is something that happens perpetually and so pervasively amongst black men, especially colorism. And guys, I'm a dark-skinned black girl. What's been coming up a lot for me and has been triggering me, and what's been coming up a lot that has been having me dizzy lately, and what's been weighing heavy on my heart lately is the realization that I only know about love when it comes to men, not because of black men. Everything I know about love and what it means to be treated well as a woman was because of someone that was non-black. Yes, my father did the best that he could, but even with seeing how he treats women, conservative Jamaicans, it's this misogynistic patriarchal society. And it really impacts black men and spills over into how they treat their women and shows how they don't value them really. And the only time I ever get to be treated normally is with someone that's not black.
All right. What do you think? A lot there, right? Talking about colorism. Two dark-skinned young black ladies that are very beautiful. Who would not, if you're a young man of any race, who would not want to talk to these young ladies or date these young ladies? Seriously. Would they not catch your eye? I mean, and she's saying that she's only gotten love from non-black men because of her dark skin. Shouldn't black people embrace dark skin? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I do. I think it's beautiful. I think dark skinned black women are beautiful. Light skinned black women too. I'm not going to get in this colorism thing. Black women are beautiful, period. End of story. Okay, we don't need to get in the skin tone. That's stupid and silly. All right. But they're saying that within their own man that this is a problem. And that other young lady says she's opened up her options because she's not getting love. Really? Well, hey, open up your options. Let's have that alliance where you could get with non-black men, and there are many different types of them, and have them embrace you for being a black woman. Embrace everything there is about being a black woman, right? I love everything there is about black women. How they look, how they carry themselves, the beautiful women that they are. Go to a man that loves that, embraces that, and also embraces your character, your big heart, your love that you have, the emotions that you carry. Go to a man that appreciates and loves that, loves you for who you are, inside and out, and sees the true beauty from the eyes to the heart to the soul. That's the men you should be with, ladies. That's the men you deserve to be with. A man that gives you all of him, that loves you, not, I think one of the comments said not tolerated, right? Loves you, but not tolerated. That's silly. Go with the men that love you. And you know what? You might get hate because of it. You might be called a sellout or a race traitor or bed winch or all that other stupid crap that insecure boys say. I'm not even going to call them men, insecure males that throw that crap out there because they're jealous, because somehow their image is tarnished because you're not worshiping them. That is crap. Ladies, it's about you. Go where you're loved, go where you're celebrated, regardless of the color of the man. Go for the best option for you. That is the biggest bunch of crap that women are judged from their skin tone, really. But it happens for some reason. If a man's not willing to give you all of him, and what I mean by that, all his love, providing and protecting you and lifting you up and telling you you're beautiful and wanting to be close to you. If a man can't give you that, he don't deserve you. Straight up. He don't. So if you're getting treated like that, divest. Open up your options. Character over color, yes. And these ladies are beautiful. There are so many men that would date these women. I can't believe that men in their community don't want to be around them. Seriously? Provide and protect. Assets over liability, yes. And ladies, you need to be hypergamous too, okay? That's not being a gold digger. You need to be strategic, because you know what? You got to have a man that's going to provide for you. You got to have a roof over your head. You have to have food. You have to have the basics, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be around a man that's successful. And black women, the beauty and the heart you have and the passion and everything, you get with a successful man, you'll even make him more successful. And that's the relationship you should be with, to where you feed on each other and build each other up, make each other better. That's what a marriage is about. And it don't matter the colors in the marriage. It's the character in the marriage. And yes, we need to have that alliance. And I'm saying the black women, white men, get to know each other. Stop thinking about these stupid stereotypes and generalizations. Find out the truth. Get to know. Guys, you'll find these ladies are beautiful and awesome. And black women are reasonable. They really are. You show them some love and respect, that goes a long ways. A lot of these young ladies just want to be loved. They don't want to be told about their skin tone or no silly crap like that. And they don't want to be working 2 jobs to take care of a man either. Nor should they have to. Keep in mind that every gold digger, there is a gold producer, yes. Okay? And you got to be strategic. You got to have a man that provides. Because he could love you all he wants to, but if he can't provide or protect you, what good is he? Seriously. But Brent, how can we get to know each other if white men are... Well, not all of them are afraid of rejection. You just got to be in places where they're at. I mean, there are a lot that are, I guess, but there's some that aren't. And you just got to be in the, where they're at. You got to be in that friendship circle. And I tell you, ladies, get to know Becky, okay? I know some of you say, nah, I ain't talking to no Becky. But look, Becky has a brother that's a Brad, right? She has cousins. She has, family members. She has friends. Be in the community where the men that you want to be with. Events where they're at. Everybody go to church? Do you have a church where there's black and white people there? My church, there's black and white people and Hispanic and everybody. Go to those type of church. Get to know people. And be in a community where there is black and white people, because it's easier to get to know each other. It's easier to date each other because you get to know people of different racial groups. You know, you got to think strategically. And not every white man's afraid of rejection. A lot of white men will walk past you or being around you and not even think about dating you. You know why? Because it's not in the norm. You know, they're not even thinking about that. You know, we've been taught to be within our race, or if we haven't been taught that, we see it every day. We're around people that look like us a lot of times. So we're not even thinking about dating someone that don't. And it's not that they won't, they're just not on their mind a lot of times. So you got to be where they're at. They got to know that you're there. And I'm not saying throw yourself at the guy, but let him know you're there. Um, I wish I could give a place where these men were that were in the dating black women, but they're out there. Okay. You know, say no to struggle love. Okay. Hey guys, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some comments I get from my biggest fans, my trolls. Okay. And I'm going to put these up here. Remember, I was talking about some of the comments I get? Well, when I started my channel till like recently, I would just delete the comments and, you know, just get rid of them. But now I'm saving them. Now I'm going to show people what comments I'm getting. And if I get any emails, I will put that on blast also. Okay, these comments ain't as bad as some of the stuff I gotten in the past, but I'm going to share with you these comments. Say yes to white zaddy black. Say yes to white zaddy. There you go. Yes. Let me post that again. Say yes to. All right. All right. This here is one of my big fans. Okay, and he sent some loving words. All right. Can you guys see that? Okay. This is just you know, a short comment. He's showing my love. He said, the black woman and the white man destroyed the black community. Read about it. And he showed a clown face. I guess he's saying I'm a clown. And this is my buddy, Lucky Isaiah. So he's claiming that black women and white men destroyed the black community. How so? And where can I read about this? And is it against the law for black people to marry each other? Am I missing something? Is there a law against that? I mean, in the black community, the marriage rate's what, 30%? Actually, 30% of black men are married and 27% of black women. And that came from black, what's that? Uh, it, gosh, black diagram dynamics. I think black dynamics anyway, but they're showing that stat and it's kind of slanted there. I think it's even worse than 30%. I tell you the truth. And but I mean, can you fix that? If white men and black women destroyed the black community, can you just repair it and marry the women in your community and get it past 30%? I mean, marriage is horrible across the board of all races, but in black community, it's in last place at 30%. So he's blaming black women and white men destroying it. How? How are they stopping you from getting married? I mean, serious. I mean, yeah. Yeah, black demographics. That's the site I got the stat where it says 30% of black men are married and 27% of black women. Okay. And I think that's a slanted stat. I don't think that's really accurate. I think they're counting some people that were married, but not the ones that are divorced. So, I mean, I don't know for sure, but that's where I got that stat. Okay. Thank, thank you, pro white leadership, for pointing that out. But yeah, but he believes black women and white men are destroying the black community. And see, this guy tries to make this about black men, which it's not about black men at all. It's about black women and white men being that power couple. And he's mad. No, the marriage rate in your community is 30%, or 27% of black women are married. So 73 are not. So what are you talking about? In fact, black women need to open up their options so they could have a chance to be married. Do they not? Are they supposed to sit and wait for this clown? I don't know. Well, I do know, but anyway, that's one of my fans there. Here's another one, same guy. Okay, and he's saying, what are you doing for black women? Economy. Okay. Let me explain what I'm doing for black women. Okay. I'm showing love and respect for black women. I go online and I uplift black women. I tell black women how beautiful and how awesome they are, and I acknowledge black women for their accomplishments, for their education, for their entrepreneurship, for their beauty inside and out. I talk about it and I tell the whole world about it. That's one thing I'm doing for black women. And another thing I'm doing that you should have done. I married a black woman. I'm married to a black woman right now, have been for over 28 years. So I'm providing and protecting for a black woman. Yes, my wife has protection. My wife has a house. She has a roof over her head, and she's taken care of. And she does not have to work, sir. That's what I've done for black women. Have you done that? No, you haven't. Only 30% are doing that. And out of that 30%, not all 30 are married to black women. Oh, 87% of 30% are. Okay. But the most are not doing it. And I am, sir. I'm doing a lot for black women. Just coming on here and telling the truth about black women. What are you talking about? What am I doing for black women? You're the clown. You show all. In fact, sir, you will never reach the level of a clown. You can only hope to get close. What are you doing for black women in your community? What are you doing? Why is your marriage rate so low? It's not my fault. It's not the black woman's fault. Black women have went the distance for black women. Black women have fell on the sword for black men, and they're doing it to this day. They are throwing everything out there, trying to lift up the men in their community. They are going to bat for black men. Black women are giving their heart and soul for black men. And black men, you are so blessed you don't even know it. And you throw it away. Why? And then you get mad at a white man that marries a black woman. Yeah, that makes sense. If you don't want to marry black women, step aside. There are men that will do it. Just saying. But I want to thank Lucky Isaiah for sharing his comment and being triggered and giving me something to talk about. You're helping my channel. Thank you, sir. Okay. Now I got another one. Okay, this guy, all right, let me put it in the middle if you can see it better. It's kind of blurry. This is Odell. Okay. He says, okay, Mr. Men's Warehouse Suit. Actually, it was Dillard's, but okay. I have yet to see one Fortune 1000 or 5,000 company started by a black woman? How about Oprah? She started a company that makes millions. I don't know. Okay. Yes, they work in C-suite, but but are they founders? Okay, they don't need to be founders. That's a man's job, is it not? But there are women that have black women that have businesses. They're the biggest entrepreneurs in America right now, so they're leading the way there. Okay. They attend colleges, but are they running the school? Some black women do run the school. What's he talking about? Is their history part of the core curriculum? By outside their race, you mean strictly white men. No, sir. I've stated over and over, dating outside your race means white men, Hispanic, Asian, whatever man the black woman wants to be with. I never said strictly white men. You don't listen to my videos. Stop colonizing people's minds. Okay, he's telling me stop colonizing people's minds, right? Do I have that power? I can colonize minds, right? Putting that colonization going in the past. Okay, because this guy can't live in 2022. He has to go to the past. Okay, I wasn't around then. And I don't have the ability to colonize minds, or do I? Do I have that power somehow in my mind? I can control minds, colonize minds? Well, if I could do that, why don't I just colonize a kingdom? Why don't I just go from Captain Swirl to the White Zaddy King? Really just colonize it all, right? Seriously, guy. I'm not colonizing minds. What I'm doing, all right, it's not called colonization of minds. What it's called is influence. What it's called is leadership. Leading an organization or a group of people, influencing them, showing the right example, leading by example. I talk about marriage, right? I say people should get married. I've been married 28 years. I say people should love black women, and I'm doing it. I say people should lift up the black woman and recognize her beauty and what she's accomplished. And, sir, I'm doing that. That's not colonizing the mind. Yeah, it's influence. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to choose whether to follow what I say or think it's crap. It's up to them. So it's not colonization, it's influence and leadership. Okay? And marrying a woman and staying with her, staying married to her, that's leadership. That's leading by example. The White Zaddy King. Yeah. I think this guy, Odell, wants to see the White Zaddy King. Okay. So he wants me to stop colonizing minds. Okay. I already explained it's called influence and leadership. It's not colonization. Black women want what white women want. Okay. Inheritance, access, ability to buy a home in an upper class area. Yeah, they want that. You're right. And you know what? Black women are getting it. And not because you're providing, Odell, it's because they're providing because you failed to do so. But you know what? My wife has a home that I bought my wife that she picked out. And you know what? She lives in an upper class neighborhood with me. So I've provided that. She has an inheritance. She has wealth that I provided for my black wife. What have you done, sir? Have you provided for your black wife, or do you have one? Or do you have babies' mamas? I'm just saying. I don't know you, but can you answer that question? All right. And then he goes on to say, sadly, white people, men, created barriers for this. Okay, so it's our fault. We created barriers, but black women are succeeding. I hope black women see the entire world as potential rather than some soulless, she's saying I'm soulless, American sinocrat. Sinocot. Okay, using one of those big words. And I looked it up, and I think it's someone that uh kind of kisses up to the boss, gives them gifts, influence. Um, okay, whatever. But you know what? Black women are succeeding, sir. Black women are making things happen. And black women that marry white men are getting taken care of for the most part. My wife lives in a great neighborhood. She has inheritance and all that stuff you say that they want that white women have. Well, my wife has that. And black women are getting that on their own. So you need to catch up with black women. So that's what I get, guys. Those are the comments. You can see that Odell, you know. But he claims I'm colonizing minds. Wow. I didn't know I had that power. Okay. All right. Here's another comment. This is the last one I got so far. Okay. And this is the Dad Geek. All right, Dad Geek. A big fan of mine. He loves my channel. Okay. He says, winning where, MF, are not the goal. What's that mean? I think he was typing when he was mad. Winning where? What's MF mean, guys? I think I know what that means. Man, fine. He thinks I'm a fine man. Is that what it is? All right. He didn't want to spell out the cuss word, so he calls me an MF. Are not the goal. So I guess white men are not the goal? I don't know. I don't know what he really means from that. But he is mad at me. I can tell that. And can he put a complete sentence out there? I'm just supposed. I guess he figures since I can colonize minds, I can read his and see what he's really saying. Yeah, but Dad Geek, thanks for watching the channel and supporting. I know you can't wait till Captain Swirl becomes the White Zaddy King. I'm going to have a special presentation for my trolls, and they're going to love it. I know they are. They love me. They watch me all the time, and I'm trying to figure out what this video came from, or what this comment came from. I think it was from the other video. Maybe it's the one black women, white men, open up your options, or yeah, I don't know, but that's love these trolls show me, guys. All right. Okay, that's some of the comments I get. Okay, some of them do not show up on the comments, or they take them down because sometimes they'll cuss and call me, instead of putting MF, they'll actually spell it out, or they'll say something like just degrading stuff. These guys are jealous. It is what it is. These guys, hate white men and hate to see black women happy. And when we come together and the black woman's happy and the white man's successful with the black woman, these guys get triggered. And they show me a lot of love through their hate. So I'm just going to assume they actually love me deep down inside, but they're just venting. Okay. I think it's time to go to bed, folks. Oh, okay. Well, good night, J9. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being part of the show. I appreciate it. And it is late. Sorry, guys, I was starting so late. But that's some of the stuff I have. That's what you're going to deal with, ladies, if you open up your options, okay? But it is worth it. Seriously. I have been shown hate all my life, ever since I married my wife. There have always been somebody that does not like the relationship me and Sandy have, you know. And yeah, sweet dreams to you. Go where you're celebrated, yes. And not tolerated. Yes, you should not be tolerated, but celebrated and loved. And if these guys cannot give that to you, open up your options, ladies. You're too valuable to sit on the sidelines waiting for some guy to make up his mind whether you're worthy of him. And ladies, you should never, never lower your standards. You should never date or marry down. Don't do that. Okay? You should never be above the man financially. I don't believe that. I think he needs to, you either be equal to him or he needs to be above when it comes to finances. Because ladies, you are the prize. The man is not. The Bible tells us the value of women, right? So us as men, we need to pursue women, and then once we develop that relationship, get married, we need to protect and provide for them and the children. Period. End of story. And a lot of these guys are triggered because they know I'm telling the truth. They know my videos, I'm speaking truth. Okay? We do better when we open up our options with black women, white men. We do. It's true. And they know it's true. They don't want to see that. They don't, you know, like I said, they don't like white men at all, and they hate seeing black women happy. So it's like a double whammy to them. It really triggers them. And I'm not saying all. I'm saying like these uh jealous, insecure weirdos. I want to stay home. Yeah, but seriously. But we do need that alliance. We do. We need to come together, get to know each other. All right? I mean, there's so much of a blessing we have when we get to know each other. We, you know, we're so much alike. It's not even funny. It's kind of ironic. It's like black women and white men are so much alike, and black men and white women are alike too. It's crazy. It's like we get the same people on both sides, and we're leading our communities, white men and black women. Think about it. So if we're doing the work within our communities, when we get together, you know, we have power on both sides. We're both making it happen. That's how we get the power couple. And people hate me to say that. They don't like hearing that. But it's true. And if they're secure men, they won't have time to come up here and make a comment. But I appreciate when they do. I have something to talk about, something to show you guys. I have some truth to show you what these guys are doing. And I'm not the only one they've attacked. Okay? And when it comes up, I'm going to show you. And it's going to have their little YouTube name on there saying what they say. Now, I say black women, white men are the best option for each other, the best couple, the power couple. I do say that, yes. And that is my opinion, and stats back it up. And that's not hate, that is truth. I never go in on a man and just say, call names or go in on their channel and talk about their wife and kids, but they do it to me. And let me tell you something. The most hate I get, and this is crazy because I thought when I started my YouTube channel, when I first started and I started talking about interracial relationships, you know who I thought was going to attack me? I thought white supremacists, racist people would be going in hard on me, showing me hate, going in, telling me, and who shows me the most hate is black men. They come in here, they make these comments all the time. It's just I've been deleting them. But now I'm going to keep them and show them to you. They're the ones showing me hate. Why? Maybe I hurt their feelings when I say black women, white men are are the best when it comes to marriage. But if you're secure in your manhood, that don't matter because you know you're a good man and you know you're living the best life. But see, when it comes to these insecure weirdos, it's about image, how they look, how they're perceived. It's symbolism over substance. It's like a guy I used to work with back when I was a teenager. This guy, here's a black guy, and you know what? He had a nice Cadillac, and you know it looked real nice. He dressed nice. You know, a real ladies' man, right? He dated many women, and being young as I was, as a teenager, I thought, man, that's awesome. How could I do that? You know, but there's nothing behind it. He had a nice car, dressed nice, but really was broke. And this guy tried to show me how it was to be a player. He told me, he says, you get a $20 bill and a bunch of ones and wad them up. And when you pull them out, they think you got money, but it's fake. You drive a nice car that he could barely afford, live in a beat up apartment. It's all about image, but there's no substance. You know, I drive around in a Honda, but I got a nice house. I know people that drive around in Audis and Mustangs and all these nice cars, but their apartment looks like crap. They don't even have a home. I have a home. But outside looking in, you just say he's just another average guy. Actually, financially, I'm in the upper middle class, top 20% when you go to yearly income. Now, I'm not rich, I do very well, but because of working hard and my wife having my back and having love and support, you know, we have a home. We have a place that we could call our own. We have our little paradise, our little castle. But we had to do with away with other stuff that we want. We can't drive around in, you know, the most expensive cars. We can't have Mustangs and you know, Audis and all this stuff. I'd like to have those cars, but what do I want more? A house or a car? Just saying. That guy went in on me about my suit. Oh, Men's Warehouse. Well, for YouTube, this looks nice. I mean, looks professional, right? That's what I wanted. Why would I buy a $5,000 Italian suit to come on YouTube? Now, if I was a millionaire, yeah, sure. Where are people's priorities? And you know, a lot of times black women and white men think like this. They're not caught up in the image. They're caught up in the, you know, and how they can build. You know, they're not caught up in the symbolism. They're caught up in the substance. What can we have? Can we have a home? We don't need a flashy car. All right. Hello, Dr. Q. Is this comedy for you? Hope you enjoy. Welcome. It's first time I seen you on here, Dr. Q. Black men are the reason why many of you women are here. And another thing, children will still be black, a reflection of yourselves. Okay, it's not about that, sir. It's not about how the kids are, how they look. Yeah, they will still have the feature. What it's about is family. What it's about is marriage. What it's about is building a community with a man and woman in marriage. That's what it's about. It's not how the kids look, you know. It really isn't. I don't. I could care less what skin tone my kids are, our grandkids. They could be whiter than white or blacker than black. I don't care. As long as they're happy, successful, and good people. That's what I want. That's it. Why are we caught up in how they look? Do we worship how we look? And you know what? I think that's a problem with most people when they go to opening up their options. Oh, how will my kids look? They might not look like me. They might be too dark or too light. Oh my God. Seriously? Is it because we worship ourselves? Is it because we worship a skin tone? Is that what it is? At the end of the day, we're people. That's the bottom line. No matter if you're light or dark, white or black, or as long as you got good character, that's what matters. And stop coming into my comments being insecure and jealous. Well, no, you can if you want. White Zaddy will let you do that, you know. And I'll tuck you in with the bedtime story, you know. One of my favorites. I would like to share with my trolls. It's called How Captain Swirl Becomes the White Zaddy King. It's a new video out there, and I've produced it. It's a good story, and it's about how Captain Swirl battles through the interracial uh, dating life and how he swirls to investment, finds his queen, gets married, and becomes the white Zaddy king, and rules through the land with love, and you know, and then the community grows and more people are getting married and raising their children together. And anyway, well, that's what I'd like to create. It'd be a good story, right? Maybe I could shoot this to Disney. You think they would take it up? I think my trolls would like it. Maybe I could send them some free posters of the White Zaddy King. And hey, listen, hey, I got so much love for everybody, right? Even these trolls that come in, they're people. You know, we're just people. I look at them as brothers. They're a little bit of dysfunction. A little jealousy. That's okay. We can work on that. And look, you know, Umar Johnson has his school, his academy, but I have the White Zaddy Academy. All right, look at this, and everybody can be a part of it. You could be black or white, man or woman, and maybe I could bring some black men in and show them how to love and respect black women. How to treat them, how to talk to them, how not to get triggered over their weave or whatever hairstyle they have, and see them for the beautiful women they are. Maybe I could do that, right? But all seriousness, you know, seriously though, guys, we need to, love one another. We do. And look, black women, you're leading the way in so many areas. And I say this all the time when it comes to education, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to the traditional role of being a wife and a mother. Black women, you're leading the way in this. You're holding up your community a lot of times by yourself. You're doing wonders, ladies. You are so valuable. You don't even know. And just because men are stupid, are arrogant, or think there's something special, you know, it's not your fault, ladies. You are a blessing, and don't throw away that blessing to a man that don't deserve to be with you. You know, and I've known some black women that have worked two jobs that are with a man that's not pulling his weight or doing very little. You know, I know many black women working two jobs on the outside along with the same sort home based business just to be able to cover the mortgage, car payment, children's school fees. Where are the men? Yeah. And sadly, there's a lot of black women are stuck with this position, and they don't have to be. And I say, women, open up your options. And look, this is where we need this alliance, where we get to know each other, where we can, and it ain't going to be easy. White men ain't just going, come in droves in your neighborhood. No, but we can intermingle with each other. There are churches that have both black and white people that love each other. There are communities that have both black and white people, and that's probably the best community to be in because they live around each other. They get to know each other. There's less of the stereotypes and generalizations. I mean, you're still going to have that, but it's not as bad. It's easier. I found when I was dating, it was easier to date black women that were around white people than black women that weren't. And it's not their fault. It's just what they've been taught, what they've been told, and the perception and the stereotypes. If you don't know a group of people, you tend to believe what you hear, right? So, just saying. Let me drop the link if you guys want to come up. But here's the link. But I think we need to have this alliance. I think we need to come together because it's better. The more options you have, the better choices you have. And ladies, you have so many groups of men to pick from, ladies. You don't have to be just stuck with black men, and you don't have to just run over the white man, okay? There's Asians, Hispanics, there's many different types of white men too. You got French, Italian, German, Irish, whatever. Ladies, there are so many men. There's millions out there. Okay, the black population in America is about 12%. So there's millions and millions of more men that a lot of you ladies don't open your options to. And even if only half are interested in you, that's millions of choices. And I guarantee more than half are going to love you. I mean, nobody can deny that black women aren't beautiful. But seriously, open up your options. It's about you. At this point, black women, it's about you. At this point, the marriage rates aren't good. The statistics are not in your favor. You outnumber men in your community. And, the marriage rates ain't that good. So, I mean, unless you don't want to be married, but I think more than 73%. I don't believe that 73% of black women don't want to get married. I don't buy that one bit. I would say most black women would love to be married to a man that loves them and have a family. I believe that. I don't know how many are the percentage that want that, but I think it's more than 27%. But a lot of times these ladies are waiting for that man to come through, waiting for him to step up, be a man and marry you. A lot of women are waiting for that. But unfortunately, a lot of times that don't happen. And it's not because and it's not you. You're beautiful, you're successful, you're making it happen. So open up your options. Hey there, KT Creator. How's it
Hello.
going?
Good. How are
Hey,
you today?
good. How are you doing? Nice mermaid picture.
Thank you. I'm so excited that the new Little Mermaid is gonna be black. That's something that I'm happy about. Unlike a lot of the world, but I don't care what they think. So I think Halle
And
Bailey will do an awesome job.
I think so too. And I don't understand I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is. It's a fictional character. Um, I don't get it. I
Me
don't.
either.
I think a lot more characters need to be black women. I
I
mean, like,
agree.
yeah. I mean, how many is there really?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Catwoman every now and then is a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
uh I guess Storm,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, there needs to be more.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, I was happy to see it. I don't know what people's issue was about it. I was like, I don't know.
Me
Well, she's
either.
not like the original, so what? I
Yes.
mean,
She doesn't
I
have
just
red hair. I'm like, who cares what color her hair is? Mermaids
right?
don't have a hair color. So yeah,
Yeah,
they're just insane. So
it
anyway,
is.
I'm glad you're having this conversation. I feel like this conversation needs to be had. And it's interesting because I saw a post on another YouTuber's community wall. She's a black woman who's all
Mhm.
for black men. And her post said, "Is the black community worth saving?" And there are a bunch of black men on it saying, "We need to leave. It's not worth saving anymore." And I'm sitting here like, well, it's because black men left in the first place that the community is in such a situation. And now the men who've already abandoned the community don't think it's worth saving. So I'm like, at this point, I feel like black women, we just need to just give it up because these men are never going to take responsibility and understand that it is men who set the standard for a community and who are responsible for making sure that that community is thriving. And if they don't do that, then nothing else matters, right? Women cannot fight for a community alone and continually be
Yeah,
blamed for everything. Otherwise, the community is going to fail, as has been seen with the black community. And then I'm like, well, okay, so where are these men going to go? All they're going to do is go into other men's communities, right? They're going to come to your community and expect you to take care of them. So I'm kind of like that. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard, because whatever black men do, black men need to be men and build something for somebody, even if it's just for themselves. But they don't want to do that even, right? They just want to say, "Oh, well, look at the black community," without realizing how communities really work. So it's like
yeah,
it's really at this point, I say black women, give it up. Don't even bother anymore. Just like you were saying before, go where you're loved, where you're appreciated, and you could do your own thing, because we are successful wherever we go if we go without black men specifically, right? Like, not all, we keep saying, but the majority of them are not doing anything. So why are we wasting our time, strength, and energy always trying to fight for them and trying to build them up when they have never in history done anything on a mass scale specifically for black women?
yeah. And you know what amazes me is black women are holding it together in the community from what I see, and
Mm-hmm.
they're getting trashed. And they're they're blaming black women for the divorce rate, for the out of birth rate, for this, for that. And I'm like, it takes two. And
Mm-hmm.
men are usually in control of that. And look, I can't speak for every case, but I believe most cases men will lie to women to get what they want. You know, if they want to sleep with a woman, a lot of men will say they love them and they're all in and want to get married just to get with that woman. I'm just saying, I can't believe that it's all women just tearing things up, wanting to be single mothers and be alone. I don't buy it at all. And
It, you know,
yeah, go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. No, go, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't buy that at all. And a lot of blame's thrown on black women. I'm like, wait a minute. Now, if they're the most educated, the most entrepreneurs, and when they marry white men, they're successful, what's really going on? And it ain't that white men are so wonderful. It's that black women are amazing. And they really have a lot of love in their heart, and they're resilient, and they find a way to adapt and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And there's men like me that see the truth in black women. And why wouldn't you want to be with a black woman? That's why black women have always been a preference to me, because of the
Mm-hmm.
beauty they have inside and out, how loving they are, how nurturing. I seen this as a little boy, and I just don't understand. And maybe because My family didn't say I couldn't love black women or have feelings for them. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I can see. I don't know, but it just blows my mind. And I say all the time, black men, you have a blessing you don't even know, and you're throwing it away. And for
Hmm.
what?
Yeah, and then when it's lost, they're gonna say, "Well, black women did it." But the reality
Yeah.
is, like, we see what's happening now, and and I've heard about things in history where that black women have been blamed for it, even so, and it's like, but based on what I'm seeing in my life, like happening in real time, is the black men, they just don't want to do anything. And if that's the case, then just say that. That's just, we'll accept that and move on. But they're so, like these guys who are insulting you, they'll come to you about dating black women, right?
Hmm.
Because you're married and you have a black woman in your life, but they won't come to you to win rights, right? They won't come to the general white man to say, you know what, we deserve these rights, we need these things for our community. They'll never stand up for you, with any white man, about that. But all they'll do is say, "Oh yeah," they'll complain. They'll come to you and complain about you being married to a black woman when no black man asked Sandy to marry her, before you got to her. So
Yeah.
whose fault is it really? They lost out because, and I've seen Sandy. She's black. She's a dark skinned black
Yeah.
woman, right? So she's obviously the one that most black men don't go for. And so, I don't know her. I can't speak for her experience specifically, but I know, a lot of dark skinned black women end up saying, black men didn't appreciate me, black men didn't treat me right. So I opened up my options. I just went and met a guy who happened to be white, but he's treating me right. Isn't that what should matter? And so I,
Yes.
I have seen this time and time again. You look in Hollywood, you look in all sorts of different circumstances where it's like, oh, what choice did I have? If I want to be happy, if I want to be married and be in a solid marriage, what choice do I have? Right. And these men are always saying, well, black women this, black women that. I'm like, but there are 2 million more black women in this country
Hmm.
than black men. If a
Yes.
black man can't find a black woman, it is on him. Because with 2 million more, there's going to be at least one who's worth staying with, right? But with us it's the opposite. And yet when we go out, we are more like you said, we're more successful in marriage with white men than even white women are. And we're
Yes.
the most successful with black men. Even though our divorce rate is 70%,
Yes.
we're still more successful with black men than white women are.
Yes, you
So
are. Hmm.
it's not us who has the problem. That's
I
like obvious.
I totally agree, and that is true. Yeah. I mean, when black men open up their options, they do worse than with black women
Yeah.
statistically. And I'm not saying all that open up their options are going to be a disaster, but the majority is not doing it. Now
Exactly.
there's a few exceptions that make it happen, but and we're looking at numbers, and numbers don't lie. And
Yeah.
but yeah, when we get with black women, it lasts.
Yeah.
And I tell people, look at black women. Look how beautiful they say, "Oh yeah, they're beautiful," but will they even give me a chance?
Mm.
Well, one of them will, and that's what matters. Hey, when I was a teenager, I remember I wanted to date a black girl so bad,
Mhm.
and people told me, "Well, they ain't even going to like you. Why even mess with them?" I said, "You
Hmm.
know what? There's one out there that's going like me. There's one out there going to accept me." I I just had that mentality,
Mhm.
and you'd be amazed. These ladies are amazing. You show them a little love and respect, that goes a long ways. Yeah,
It
and you're
does.
going to get rejected,
Mhm.
but it's worth it. It's worth going through that.
Yeah. I mean, think
Um,
about it. You get rejected by Becky's too. I mean, you got to go
oh
out there,
yeah,
and
oh
every
yeah,
woman's not going to say yes to you anyway, right?
yeah.
Regardless of
That's
what
right.
race. So it's like you're gonna a man should learn to face rejection. And
Yeah,
I do think that, and again, this is my opinion, I don't know, but I do think that black women don't even know about the access that they could have with white men, but it's also for some reason we have culturally either we did it to ourselves or we've been culturally somehow fooled into believing, oh, only black people we have to talk to, only black people can we trust, when more and more and more what I've been learning is that there are, there are there are racist white people out there, and we should
Yeah.
definitely stay away from them. But we
Hmm.
can be smart about it, and like, what hashtag Black women. I know she had. I haven't seen it yet, but I know she did or she's doing a live about vetting, about learning to vet, learning to
Hmm.
have standards and expectations. If Black women learn that, but we need to apply it to everyone, including Black men, because I've, just from where I'm standing now, I've seen it. Black men are never going to stand up and be the powerhouse that they could be. All they want to do is, come and cry to white men about why they're marrying black women. And it's sad. It's honestly sad. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it's sad when you look at the numbers, and it's like, why are you mad? You
Mhm.
only 27% of black women are married, so you're mad because I get one? I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, what's that about? It would be different if 90% of black men married black women. And I'm not talking about 90% of 30% that are married. I'm talking about most black men, if they did marry black women, that I could see them getting upset maybe.
Mhm.
But even then there's 2 million more black women, so they shouldn't even get upset at that. Um
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it's about finding someone that loves you,
Mhm.
building a life with somebody. And it's not about being race loyal just to be race loyal. And black women are getting the short end of the stick so bad.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's black. Yeah, black women can't afford to do that. We
they
just
can't.
can't. We really
And
can't.
and what's disturbing to me is I see black women that say, "Well, I would date white men, but they don't like us." And
Mhm.
I've seen very beautiful black women that people would just kill to have a chance to even talk to her,
Mhm.
believe in that craziness. And the thing of it is it's not true at all.
Yeah.
Most white men I talk to say they would date black women in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I wish
Yeah.
there were a way for more white men to be more vocal about this and kind of get out there and I don't know, come get Keisha. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
gonna take. Come save Keisha drive or something, because it's
save
like
Keisha Drive.
it's like
I
I do feel like on the white men's end, they do need to start being more vocal about it. I've seen it growing. Like, I've seen a lot of different videos of white men, some married to black women, some not, but a lot of white and Asian and different race of men saying, black women really need to consider other men, and so that movement seems to be growing, but it hasn't reached fever pitch yet, and I look
yeah,
forward to the day when it does, because I think that the more vocal white men and Asian men and all different races of men are about this, that the more black women will have to start waking up and seeing that that the lies that we have been told are not true, right? So yeah,
yeah.
and different races of men should. I mean, I know you did a poll and people say, well, we don't want the trolls to come on, and I understand that, but I'm like, but no, I would love to see you, if even if you could go on a different channel, I would love to see you debate a troll, right? And to really,
Yeah,
really put to rest a lot of these myths that, again, we can't just, it's not just date any white guy who comes along. You
yeah.
want to have standards. You want to make sure he's not a racist or a member of, one of these extreme groups or whatever. But,
Hmm.
but there are white men out there who truly are devoted. And we've seen it throughout history, but it doesn't get as much play as when it's the other way. Like George Lucas is married to a black woman. Robert De Niro married a black woman. So
Yeah.
there are famous men and white men out there who are open to and who actually do marry. David Bowie was married to a mod for his whole life, right? So, but
Hmm.
it doesn't get as much attention as black man, white woman. dynamic. I get maybe because it's more, or maybe it's someone's trying to tell us something, but for some reason, for so long, white men have been, super devoted to white women. But I think it's in a way that white men were super devoted to white women to build their community, right? To make their community really strong. And
Hmm.
then now, so okay, so you've established your community. Now white men are kind of trying to say, okay, Becky ain't doing it for us all the time anymore. Becky's
Yeah.
trying to Becky's trying to revolt against us every 5 minutes. So so we have to really look for different races of women because white women are looking for different races of men. So so
Yeah.
now so
And
now it's coming to a point where we all don't have as much of a choice to open up our options because everything is shifting now.
yeah. And I think white men, they're gradually opening up their options. They're
Hmm.
doing it in big numbers with Asian women.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's because it's easy
Hmm.
culturally. Because usually Asian people, if you're a man that, an Asian man, you marry his daughter, you're respectful, he knows you love his daughter, and you're going to take care of her. It's like usually they're okay with it. Um, but when it comes to black and white, it's like there's a problem.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's just because it's easy. And a lot of white men look at Asian women as kind of exotic.
Hmm.
Um, but it's going to shift. Once it becomes the norm, we're going to see it happening in crazy numbers.
I
Um,
think
and,
so.
and, and to the white communities, the majority of America. So we're around white people more than any other group, really. So
Hmm.
really, a lot of times, and I tell ladies, these men will date you, but sometimes they're not even thinking about it because it's not in the norm.
Yeah.
And a lot of them think, well, black women don't like us, so why try? And people have this thing, well, most of them won't like me, so why even try? It's just like
Hmm.
a defeatist thing. And, you know, but the thing of it is I think black women, white men, we're not giving each other a chance.
I agree. Yeah.
And we need to do that.
I agree. I mean, I've never had a problem dating white men. I need to find a good white man because I don't.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
my standards need to be worked on too. But a good man of any race. But I for some reason, well, first off, with Asian women have made it known that they're dating out too.
yeah.
Asian
Yeah. Oh,
women
yeah.
date out at 36%. That's higher than everybody, right? Except maybe black men. But what Asian women, they don't play. They're like, we are out of here. So
Yeah.
at some point, maybe black women would get to that point, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, so it's the availability and the accessibility definitely right now because people want easy, I guess. But I do think it is interesting. Asian women, they put it all out there. They're like, we're open for business. We are not sticking with our Asian men anymore, even though Asian men build things. But
Yeah.
I think I've heard that it's because the Asian men have treated Asian women really badly in history, which is true.
Mhm.
They've been very, with all the foot binding and stuff they used to do, the women got sick of it, so they're like, we're moving on. And I do hope that it gets to that point with black women because black women deserve the best. We
They
we
do.
aren't perfect. There are a lot of crazy black women out there doing insane things, and I think a lot of it is because of the culture, which is determined by black men. And so we're like between a rock and a hard place. If we leave this culture, we will become less quote unquote ratchet because we'll have men who don't stand for their women being put out there like that, right? So instead of having men who are the impetus for their women being put out there like that, we would
Mhm.
have a more stable, a group of men who actually understand the importance of women and the not to keep them virginal and pure. They are allowed rights to be who they want to be, but but no matter what a white woman does, she's never put out as being anything but feminine. right? And we know
Hmm.
that's not true because we've seen the rise of Karen. We've seen how unfeminine white women can be, but the
Yeah.
standard of beauty is still them. The standard of femininity is still the white woman. And so we don't have men who are going to do that for us at all. And it's sad. It's not a good thing, but we don't have to be defeated by it. We can just say, well, do like the Asian women and say we have to do what's best for us, and we can't save the black race on our own. So we
No.
have to move on and be happy. And like you said, build happy families and build happy people, build a happier society. So
Yeah, and you know, do it for you. I
mhm,
mean, living in the collective, it's really not working for black women, really isn't.
it's
Because
not.
when you do that, yeah, I mean, when you live
It's
for
not worth
you,
it.
you know, get the best option, and it might not look like you, and he might not, but he might love you and provide for
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and you know what? You know, Asian women, they're doing what they want to do. Becky's
Yeah,
doing what she wants to
Becky.
do.
Becky's
I,
always done what she wanted to do.
yeah, nobody tells her anything. And black men do what they want to do. Nobody that I always get these black men say, "Well, you as white men, you just take what you want and do what you want." Really, black men are doing that because
Hmm.
think about it. They date, marry out. They just nobody checks them on that. White men, we're not going in on black men when they date Becky. We're not doing it. In fact, we're trying to show them love. Like, hey, that's cool. I'm behind you. I'm behind you, bro. That's what we're telling them, and they're calling us fetishizers and racist. And I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It
It's
it
sad.
it, it's like black men and white women do what they want when they want, and nobody says nothing. But when
Hmm.
black women and white men get together, there's a problem.
Hmm.
It's like a double standard right now in today's world. It's crazy.
It's weird. It's very weird.
With
The,
black
the
women for
concept
care.
the concept is kind of titillating for a lot of people
Hmm.
because somehow it's a concept of or topic of conversation where people want to know what's it like.
Hmm.
Ultimately, it's kind of the last taboo, and because of the historical background of the enslavement history of the United States. But that's why everybody's so focused on interracial dating because it is a titillating topic. But as an old married lady, because I've been married for, or now we're going on 13 years. It,
Nice.
it's important for the ladies in the chat who are ready for a healthy relationship to go ahead and also expand personal interests. So it may be that the typical African American culture is not all you know about. Whether you
Hmm.
travel in other parts of the country, learn another language, have an interesting hobby, those are ways that you will break out of what's familiar, the comfort zone, but
Mhm.
also be able to meet people who kind of think the way you do.
Hmm.
So for folks who want to go out hiking and things like that, well, there are running groups, hiking groups, the outdoorsy type groups. They're the gearheads, so they're like motorcycles and cars. They're
Hmm.
the folks who are into taking care of animals. So whether it's the dog and cat people, whether it's the cows and the goats, I think there's even a dating site called Farmers Only.
Oh
And
yeah.
so that's for folks who are on like a rural lifestyle. But unfortunately, if folks just spend their time watching Fox Soul, and which is, I think, the worst channel
Yeah.
ever, only listen to R&B, only listen to hip hop, only think in this very narrow, this very narrow view. Well, not going to ever meet the right person. And don't limit yourself, ladies. Be pretty and interesting, and the adoring men will come.
Yeah, you know what's amazing? Yeah, be yourself. You know, my three kids. It's funny because they've chosen their own path. Like my oldest daughter, she likes country music, right? She's really into that. My my son's like in the rock type stuff, and he plays his electric guitar, um and then my youngest daughter, she's into R&B. So it's like they're just doing their own thing, and it's and what you just said, be yourself. And what you like is what you like. Um but yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Mercedes because one thing, I don't know if you experienced this when you were growing up, Mercedes, but I've noticed that the black community in general seems to be very um focused on this is what we like, this is who we are, this is how we talk, this is how this
Mhm.
is how we dress. And if you're a what, and I can speak for myself as a black person growing up, because I like to do things like read and travel and do I like to explore things. I loved watching everybody on TV. I loved watching white people on TV and black people on TV. And so I didn't stay focused on all black all the time. I was
Yeah.
told I'm not black enough, right? You act white. And I'm like, because I like to read a book rather than going out and playing all the time, I'm white now. That never made sense to me. I've always been more of an intellectual. I'm very curious. I like to do different things. And so I think that that's something that black women get stuck on, is that we have to accept that this is the only way to be. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, there are so many things out in this world you can discover, and you might enjoy some of the different ones, something different. Just try it. Try something. If you hate it, you don't have to do it again. Try horseback riding. Try visiting a different state. Just try something different, right? So open your mind, and you'll grow that way, and you'll discover things, and you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in agreement. Fear is a big issue for a lot of people.
Hopefully a more viable way
It's
of life to work on, more open to more things.
Yeah.
and I think that that's why the term "fear not" or "do not be afraid" is it's like several hundred times in the Christian Bible. But apparently it's always been an issue.
Mhm.
People get comfortable, and then they get afraid of change.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I never experienced the black kid table, or whatever else happens at school, until I was in middle school. Um, I lived on a military base and went to Department of Defense school for the first 5-6 years, and so every year I had classmates who lived in South Korea for a year, or the on or their but my dad was a career Marine
Mhm.
officer, and so folks, I had classmates whose moms were Thai, Filipino, Okinawan, parents from Panama, kids who spoke more than one language. And then I was dropped into rural Virginia when my dad was stationed at Quantico and headquarters Marine Corps,
Uh
and everybody was so segmented. The jocks, the preps, the athletes, and then it was like the black kids, the rednecks. I mean, it's so compartmentalized, and that was a huge culture shock.
yeah.
Because I wasn't used to that. And Brent, you've got a military family.
I
So
do.
you can tell the difference.
Yeah, and my kids were army brats. I retired from the army, did 20 years. And yeah, they spent their whole life in the military up till high school till I retired. And yeah, it was a culture shock to them because in the army we were stationed in little towns, mostly in the Midwest for some reason. I was stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Fort Riley, Kansas, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, all in the Midwest for some
Mhm.
reason. But they grew up in small little towns, and
Yep.
they weren't used to big cities at all. And they were mostly around white people. I mean, there were some black people there too, but and I think it was good because it was a slower pace of life. Like when they had trouble in school, it was like we knew the teacher, being in small communities like that, and we knew if our kids were having problems in school, it's like they couldn't escape it. Like the bigger cities, nobody knows nothing, and
Hmm.
I think they got a better education. I because of
Mhm.
that. Well, and then me and my wife put them in private schools every chance we can get because we wanted them to have a good education. My education was horrible. When I went in the army, I had to learn to read again. Seriously. And I graduated high
Mhm.
school. I had to relearn what I should have been taught. And the,
Wow.
the public school
Mhm.
system was sorry. So you know, I made it a point that my kids are going to be educated. They're not going to go through what I went through. And they're all college educated. My oldest daughter has a master's degree, and you know, my son's in college, what he can in the army, and he's got some college, and my youngest daughter's going to the University of New Mexico. So that's important because I want my kids to be able to compete,
Hmm.
because it's a competitive world. It is. And you got to sell yourself in this world with the skills you have. And, it ain't, you're not just going to be handed a job, unfortunately, unless, you come from a rich family that can pull strings. But most of us, everyday people, don't have that. But anyway, but yeah, my kids, they grew up in the army, and the discipline was there. They were, the education was good. I mean, and usually rural areas have better schools for some reason. Usually, smaller towns than the big cities. Um, but anyway, I don't want to drift off away from the subject too much. But um, we need to, black women, white men, we need to give each other a chance and get to know each other. We have to have that alliance. And it's not to have alliance to hate somebody else, it's to have that alliance to come together. Because right now we are the best option for each other. Whether people like it or not, it's true when you look at stats. So why wouldn't we open that up? Why wouldn't we seek a strategic way? Because we've seen black women and white men do this and they've been successful. So, I mean,
Yeah, and I have to say, only good white men apply.
well, yeah,
We don't
I
need
mean,
the good in it because I actually I heard a video the other day from another black woman YouTuber where she said that she overheard her over dinner a white man saying he was going to get a black woman because he felt like he wouldn't have to do anything for the black women.
mm,
And I say, black women, we have to put a quash on that one. It's like we are not
yeah,
accepting any more men who are not going to be responsible, and like Brent keeps saying, we deserve to be protected and provided for and adored, and we need, like black women always say, go where you are loved. Black women, we need to go where we are loved, right?
yeah,
We really shouldn't accept anything else. And men, men are supposed to provide, point
yeah,
blank, and if they can't, well, they shouldn't be married.
and ladies, what she said is true. There's a lot of trash white men too, so don't think they're all going to be, Yeah, you got to vet. I mean, if you look in the white community, our marriage ain't so hot either. 52% of white people get married, so 48 are not. So that should tell you something. Vet, vet, vet. You know, because I say we're the best option. That don't mean all of us are the best option. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that disclaimer. We need that
yeah.
disclaimer too.
We're not all the best option.
Right.
Statistically, we are, but you got to vet.
Yeah, let's put it this way. When a good black woman and a good white man get together, they are successful.
They are, yes.
And
Hey,
no one wants a bum.
yeah, right. Hey, hey, pro white leadership. How's it going, young lady?
What's going on? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's good.
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
Doing great.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about well, my topic tonight was black women, white men alliance. Um there is one. It's small, it needs to grow, it needs to be bigger, and we need to give each other a chance. I know that wasn't in the title topic, but we do. We need to you know, open up our options, both black women and white men, because we're finding the best option with each other statistically.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
wouldn't we promote that?
Exactly. Yeah, why not promote success and find out why it's successful and copy that? I've heard a lot of YouTubers, not a lot, a few white male YouTubers who get online and complain about the dating market because they don't like what white women are doing. And I look at that and I'm like, it is interesting because there are some white men who are complaining about white women, and they do include black women in that sometimes, if a black woman does something. But overwhelmingly, it is, I think that even white men are beginning to see that white women are not always the best option, right? And
Yeah,
so
and
there is some shift going on, but unfortunately these men are not saying open your options, they're saying don't date anyone. I'm like, that's sad, because I feel like if the two most successful genders got together, then wouldn't we have more success in the world, right? They just make
I
sense.
we
Yeah.
would we would have more success within our communities, within our country.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all go that dynamic, but what I'm saying is, hey, you know what? Whenever you invest, right, you look at, you analyze, you look at the data, you look at the history, you go over it, and you see the trends and what's happening, the success rates, the failure rates, right?
Hmm.
And when you invest, like in stocks, you want one that's has a track record of performance, one
Hmm.
that's successful, rather than just going for anything, right? That would be foolish. You really got to study and you really got to take it serious because you want the best return for your money, right?
Exactly.
Now, if we're going to do that with money, wouldn't we do that with dating and marriage? Because marriage is the biggest investment you'll make. And if you get the right man, a right woman, you can be in paradise. You'll be successful, right? If you're both on the same page.
Exactly.
But if one's not right and the other is, you're going to have a problem. Um, and we need to take marriage as an investment. You know, how is it beneficial to be with this man, this woman? And, you got to be in love with them. You got to have love, but you got to look at it strategic too. Does he have a good job? Does he work hard?
Hmm.
Um, what is he doing? And guys, you got to say, okay, is this a good woman? Would she be a good wife to me? Would she be a good mother to the children? Um, you got to really research this stuff, and um, just like you would when you're handling money, right?
Hmm.
And we got to think of it as an investment. That's why I always say swirl to investment. And what that means interracially date to marriage, but find the right one to marry, right? There are a lot of beautiful black women, and black women are successful. They're outdoing every group of women statistically, right? But you can find a bad one in the bunch. I mean, that's every group. So vet, vet, vet. And same thing with the men, ladies. You're going to find some trash white guys that are just going to want to get with you to see what it's like. They're out there. You know, you got to vet. But there are a lot of awesome white guys that will love you and, you know, be there for you till the end. So, you know, the key is getting there, you know. But how we go about it will determine our success, you know. But anyway, that's my thought on that.
Oh, sure, because it is important to be discerning. How happily the bums select themselves out at a certain point because well, bums are lazy, and so if ladies have the expectation that the the bums are not acceptable, and because I don't want to get too negative into things, but ultimately, if the expectation is that your man is going to open the door for you, then the bums who just want to just pull up into the driveway and wait for you to come out are not going to be interested in you. If you have a broad range of interests, and you have your work friends, your church friends, you've got family members. Well, the bums don't want to compete with all that, so they're not going to be interested in spending all sorts of time and energy with trying to separate you from all the things that you're doing and being controlling or hear that term narcissistic. The bums don't want are lazy. They're not going to be pursuing on a woman who has other interests besides just their man's immediate needs.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. I would you know, anytime in a relationship, and I always say this, if you're in a marriage and you want it all, you have to give it all. That, you know, a good, solid, successful marriage is not 50-50. It's given 100% both ways. And what I mean by that, and that's not finances, but what it is it's given all yourself. And man, finances is your responsibility. Okay, that's your department. Your department is to make the money, to work hard, and provide for your wife and children. That's what a man's supposed to do. Okay, and if he's doing that, and you're supposed to sacrifice for your wife and kids, you know, that's what a man's supposed to do because you're the leader. Their needs are more important than your needs. And I find this very hard to believe that a man says that wants 50-50 and wants you to know what you're bringing to the table is not a man that's willing to give you everything because he's already looking at what you have to bring to him instead of just being, you know, coming with your love, loyalty, and just being your beautiful self. If a man loves you, that's all he wants. Just to, you know, just bring your love, loyalty. You got to love him and be loyal to him. He wants that. He's got to have that. And just be your beautiful self. If that's what he wants from you and nothing else, that's the man you need to be with. Now, I mean, life takes its turns and sometimes things happen. But a good man will pull himself back up and, you know, rise back to the top. But you give 100%. And a woman gives 100% where she's loving and loyal to you and supports you. And it works both ways. And if both people are fully in, they get, the full result. And I always say, if you want it all, you got to give it all. If I want my wife to love me with all her heart, and she does, I got to give her everything. That means all of me. That means all my love. That means, the fruits of my labor. That means, my assets. That means everything. And in turn, we make each other better. We lift up each other. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But if you're in a relationship where the person's seeing what they can get out of you instead of love and, a happy marriage, then you're going to have problems. Um, and I think a lot of times it happens that way. I think a lot, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I think black men are spoiled when it comes to black women.
Mm-hmm.
I think black women just openly give black men everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not all, but it just seems that way, that they'll uplift them. They'll tell them they're the best. They'll make a public, announcement that that's all they're going to date. That's all they're going to marry. And they're all in no matter what. We see that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see other women doing that. You don't see Becky saying, all I'll go and date is a white man, unless she's a white supremacist and just throwing hate out there. Other than that, you never see it. You don't see Asian women, I'm only going to date Asian men that look like Jackie Chan or something. You don't
Yeah.
see it. But with black women, they're going all out. And, black women's loyalty is awesome. But it's also, when they're race loyal, can be detrimental because it limits their options. But anyway,
Yeah, it is very detrimental ultimately. When I first came into this YouTube space, it was actually surprisingly as a pro black woman because of the George Floyd thing. But then
mhm,
I started to research and I started to listen to a lot of different people and get a lot of different perspectives on, the black community. And the thing I kept wondering is why haven't black people advanced further than we have given everything that we fought for. And ultimately it did fall on, listening to people who were talking about the way black men act and the loyalty that black women give, even though we never get that loyalty from anyone. And it baffled me. It was very confusing to me. Why are we doing all this for men who should be doing it for us and for themselves? And I don't know where black women got this warrior mentality from, but it has it's moved the needle a little bit, because I do believe that if the women and hadn't fought in the civil rights, we would still be in that situation where we were totally segregated, and I think that that would be worse for us. So
mhm,
I'll give it to the women who fought for the civil rights movement, even though that was not for black women. That was so that black men would have access to white women, right? But the flip side is, okay, so now everybody has access to everybody else. And at the end of the day, I do think it's better for black women to move on and to stop the loyalty, because black men have never given it, number one. And number two, they have never risen to the occasion to actually protect or provide for or even build and make sure that our community is viable. And that is sad, because what has ended up happening is now we're supposed to depend on solely on white society to do everything for us, but at the same time we don't like white society because they're racist against us, but we aren't going to use that to build something of our own and establish something that we can be viable in. Instead, we're just going to keep complaining about white society while depending on white society. That
Mhm.
makes no sense to me whatsoever, right? Because even though all races of people have, issues, they all talk about racism. Every other community, the like Latinos and the Asians and all of the other races of people, have their men have actually built a community within this country for Latinos and Asians. But black men have not done that. All they do is complain about the black community that they left. And so the loyalty makes no sense to me because we get nothing. We all we get is we're blamed for everything. And so it's like, okay, so we've set this standard where we have to be the fighter of and the fighter for and responsible for everything, and that does not work, obviously. So yeah, black women really need a wake up call.
You know what I would say. I hear this all the time, and I hear black women say this, and I hear some black men say this, that black women need to do better. And I hear a lot of black women say this, and I'm
Hmm.
thinking, what more do black women have to do? They're carrying the community on their back. They're uplifting men in their community. Um, they're leading the way of all groups of women when it comes to education, entrepreneurship. Uh, they're resilient. They're moving up economically. And black women are the most loyal women on the earth. What more do black women have to do? And I would
Hmm.
say, you know what? If it's not good enough for black men, hey, ladies, come on over. You know what? Hey, you know what? I married a black woman and I've been blessed every day since the day I got married. And you know what? I thank God every day. I know the blessing I have. And you know what? There's nothing more she needs to do.
Yeah.
And I can't understand it why you're telling these women they have to do more. That is the most biggest bunch of crap I've heard.
Yeah, that's all you hear about from black men. Black women have to do better, and we're leaving. So it's kind of like there is no winning with that, right? So yeah, I don't know if you've heard about the passport bros, they call
Oh
themselves, and
yeah,
now these guys are
yeah.
getting passports. I'm like, gonna go overseas and do nothing. So okay, fine, bye, right? So yeah.
Yeah, but they won't last over there because they can't. How are they going to sustain? How are they going to sustain themselves? Are they
Hmm.
going to get a job, start a business down there in South
Hmm.
America? I think not. They're
Yeah.
going down there because the American dollar's worth so much more than South America. So yeah, the women are going flock to them because they see them as rich, right?
Hmm.
And look, there's nothing there. There's no substance there. I mean, I'm not saying you can't find a good wife down there, but it just, if you're doing what you're supposed to as men, and black women outnumber you, and they're the most loyal and most understanding, and go to bat for you, and jump on the sword for you, and uplift you, and worship you, and do everything for you, why would you go overseas? I'm just saying, why? I just, oh man, I mean, I don't want to get started because man, I just I see the BS all over the place. You know what?
But
If they want to go overseas, let them, ladies.
Hmm.
yes, the expats are traveling to have a good time.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
it, whether it's the Philippines, Thailand, Dominican Republic, Colombia, they're going to have a good time. It is extremely rare for the expats actually look for a spouse to take care of it's there's usually some type of power exchange,
Yeah.
if there are relationships, but yeah, those folks are going to do what they're going to do, and sometimes they have to find out the hard way that they're opportunists in these so-called third world countries, and the grass is not always greener just
Mhm.
because you know, it's a different part of the planet.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, and those women, once they get you hooked and you do take them, yeah, nah, I'm just saying. And why
Mhm.
aren't these guys? Why aren't they going to countries that have black women? Why
Mhm.
not Africa, Jamaica, uh, in the Caribbean, place, or even the UK, or I don't know why. Well, I guess the third world countries they have more power with the money, I guess.
Mhm.
But
That, and then unfortunately there is a thing called sexual tourism,
yeah.
and so it's under the guise of meet beautiful women who are looking for relationships, or let's see, there's something where the men go to the Ukraine and meet the Ukrainian women,
Hmm.
and they were on like 2020 or something like that, years and years ago, and so there's a whole industry that's set up for getting men to travel to the other parts of the world.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's rare that folks are becoming expats because they really want a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but that's on them. And ultimately, ladies, there are plenty of other men, and from my perspective, with the black men, it's hard to think about. So it's hard to hate someone you don't think about.
Mhm.
I spend no energy
Hmm.
concerned about what black men are doing or not doing. It doesn't impact me. And so sort of like with the movie stars and the celebrity gossip. Um, does it matter what hairstyle is in fashion for? Was the Rachel cut from 20 years ago? It doesn't impact me, and so it's just like the celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um,
Yeah, there's more going on than what the black men are doing.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Hey, pro white leadership. Oh,
they
sorry.
are interesting to watch though. Natasha said that she's interested to see how the passport bros thing turns out, and I'm like, yeah, me too, Natasha, because it's crazy. I mean, if you go by what we've seen in history, it's not going to go well. I mean,
Nah,
the
it's
what black men dating white women hasn't gone well. So, and they fought for that like since before they got off the plantation. So they don't have a good track record at all. But
and you know what? Today we've given them that with the silver platter. They could get
hmm
with Becky all day. They could go
yeah,
bowling for Becky's all night. Um,
exactly. So
hey, pro white leadership. Did you
What's
want to have?
going on? I'm just listening to you guys.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
If
So
you want to chime in anytime, I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to, but
No,
uh,
well, now there's an alliance now, so the alliance has begun.
yeah,
the
it's being
alliance,
built.
it is, and it's going to get stronger. You know what? And
Yeah.
here's the thing: we have to live in today, and
hmm
I would say to my troll buddies that show me all that love, live in today's world, 2022. We're not living in slavery. We're not living in Jim Crow. I understand there was a lot of evil stuff that happened, and I'm not happy about it any more than you are. And it's a shameful thing, but if you study world history, it's happened all across the globe. And truth be told, we are all descendants of slaves, and we are all descendants of slave masters. Um, it's happened on every continent, from Europe to Africa to the Middle East, and every country in between. It was a way of life back in the day. Men conquered other men.
Mm-hmm.
Was it right? No, but they did it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we live in today. Okay. And the people that are living today weren't slave owners. Okay. And you're not responsible for the sins of the father or grandfather, or, you know, and I'm not saying don't be sensitive. What I'm saying is let's live in the here and now, and let's just love each other in our country, and let's assimilate to one culture where we uplift our women, where we get married and build solid families and solid communities. Can we do that together? Or do you want to be segregated and divided? Do you want to settle scores from the past? Is that what you want? I mean, I'm just saying, really, what can we do in today's world? And people say, well, you chose to be here. We didn't have a choice. Well, no, I didn't choose to be here either. We're born into this world, and history took us here, but we're here now. This is our home. This is our community. And believe it or not, in our country, in America, we're Americans and we're fused together. How many interracial marriages have we had so far? How many biracial children have we had since the country began? So think about it. We're connected more than you know.
Mm-hmm.
And to hate each other ain't going to do no good.
Yeah.
So really, what are we doing? And I would say to all men, compete for women. You know what? And I say to black men, you got beautiful, awesome women. And yes, us white men are going to compete for those women. Get ready. You better have your A game on, because we're coming with resources. We're coming with love. We're coming with everything. So you got to do the same thing. And that's not a bad thing. It just makes men better men. So embrace it. Embrace the challenge. Embrace the competition. Because that's what makes men better men. We're created to compete. Really. And women are the prize. And when we get with that woman, we need to love and respect her and take care of her. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to just lay with women and have babies without marriage. We're not. I mean, you could do what you want, but the thing of it is society would be better off if we had a culture where we could just come together and build strong families. And you know what? If one group's doing better than the other and women gravitate to that group or men gravitate to that group, so be it. That'll make the other group better, wouldn't it? Logically, it should. What are we doing? And black women and white men, get together. You are the best options for each other right now. You are the most successful. So let's do this. And when I say I mean in the collective. I mean, and black women, you need to do no more. You're at the top. Just be your beautiful self. That's all you need to do. You don't have to lift up a man. A man should be lifting you up. But anyway.
That's what they don't want. Black men, apparently, they don't want to compete. They don't want to settle scores. They only want to complain and blame everybody else. And they're gonna lose. That's the real sad part, is that I feel like even the black women who are building up these men who are not building and kind of trying to justify everything, I feel like they're gonna lose, because the world is going to change and it's going to go on without them, right? Black men don't want to compete with white men. They never have, except they will fight to have the white woman, but they won't actually compete in the way of gaining resources or being
Mhm.
capable men. And that's sad, because
Well, and you know what? If they want to compete for the white woman, do it.
but
I'm
they
just
yeah, but
yeah.
it's not even that though, because look how they treat white women.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
well,
They go over there and they do the same thing. So
the
so they
stats
aren't
ain't
they aren't
too good over
competing.
there
Yeah,
either.
they aren't
I
competing. They don't
y-
want to compete. So, but yeah, but I agree with what you said. It's not going to be a competition. I feel like if white men on the whole, right? Let's say a big massive group of white men say, you know what? We want to date black women now. Any black woman who wants to date white men is welcome. I don't think that black men would really be able to do anything. They would just berate the women and try to get the women to stay instead of competing against the men.
y-
But I don't know that for sure. But yeah, it would be interesting to see. I honestly don't think that black men are going to fight for anything besides sleeping with white women. So,
well,
but
they got
I could
that.
be wrong. Yeah,
they
exactly.
they
Exactly. Like,
won
yeah.
that.
Yeah, like if that was taken away, then you see them all get up and rally and scream and shout. But
Eh,
yeah, other than that, they're not going to fight for anything. So, yeah, black women we just need to fight for ourselves and do it with capable men, basically, and get and how because we deserve to have the best in life, and we're not going to create that in this community. So we need to
Hey,
find a different way.
I would just like to say to Michael Ray, yeah, I did get your video. I watched part
Mhm.
of it, but I was late today, so I'm going to view it, and I might use it for a video if you don't mind. It looks pretty good. That young lady had a lot of good points. Um, you know, here's the thing, and I think this is what we're missing when it comes to black women, white men. When you open up your options to each other, it's like you really find love. I remember just dating black women back in the day, and when I found one that was interested in me too, it was like it was just so awesome. It was like, wow, this is great. And it's like it was meant to be. And when I married my wife, it was like this is meant to be. It's great. It's and it's like a love you never known ever.
Mhm.
That's my experience, and I've always had love for black women anyway, but I'm just saying, I mean, uh there's something special about black women to where they have a heart of gold, and if they love you, you know it, and you have everything. And that's what makes it so awesome. And I've talked to men that have married black women, and a lot of them dated black women later on in life, and they're like, wow, I never knew what I was missing.
Mm.
My wife is so awesome, and she's just everything I ever wanted and didn't even know I wanted it. It's crazy. And we're living too much in the easy life. We're living too much in our comfort zone. We're not reaching out and seeing what's out there. We're not
Mhm.
getting to know black women because it's not a normal thing, or we just don't think about it. Or I would say to white men, you don't know what you're missing. You don't even know the blessing that black women will bring to you. I mean,
Mhm.
seriously. And that's how I feel. And you can study my life, and you could look at my marriage, it's public record, and you can see the date I got married, which was May 19th, 1994. Still married, still going strong. So there's something there. And a lot of
Mhm.
people I know, black women, white men, a lot of them have many years under their belt. What's going on? It's not a fluke.
Mhm.
And it's not that white men are controlling the country and have all the wealth either. It's not that. I know people will say that. No, it's that we work hard and we're strategic. We are the workhorses in both our communities. And when we get together, we build. And that's what makes us successful. That's what makes us the power couple. That's it in a
Early,
nutshell.
early on with my marriage, my husband made the offhand comment, oh, that's right, we're talking about, I think, his blood pressure medicine or his blood pressure. And I said, well, I care about your heart. So I want to keep you healthy. My husband just had the offhand comment, well, this is the healthiest I've been. You're the best thing that happened to me. Um, it it's a good match. So of course that made me feel good that that on my on the vegetable cooking and wanted to keep my husband healthy was indeed appreciated, and he does eat his vegetables and he takes his blood pressure medicine. But it's part of the taking care of each other, that and getting that verbal feedback that I'm making my husband's life better, and that means a great deal.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. You make each other's lives better. Yeah. Hey, I would like to say, guys, speaking of eating healthy and stuff, ever since I got back from Texas from the wedding, and I've changed my diet altogether. I haven't ate fried food since Texas. This was about a month ago. And I feel so much better. I eat a salad a day. I juice. I throw vegetables and fruit, and I just blend it up, and I drink that every day. And I've stayed away from red meat. I've eaten a lot of fish, tuna. Um, I eat seafood, but I've stayed with seafood with fins. Fish with fins. I don't eat no crabs or lobsters. I stayed away from that. And you know what? I feel so much better. I feel energized. I don't know. It's just, and I just told my wife I'm going to do this because you know what? My weight was going up, and I'm like, wait, this. You know what? I'm getting too old for this. So I started doing that. Um, I've been losing weight ever since I got home, and I just feel better. It's like, I don't know. And
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
eating I'm eating natural food, not no fried crap. I don't eat stuff out of a box no more. Um, fast food stuff, that I stay away from that. Sodas, I don't drink that stuff no more. I drink the carbonated water, the flavored with no sugar and stuff. I've turned to that, and that actually, just having the habit of drinking a soda at work. I used to do that, and that's so much sugar bound up. Um,
Mhm.
but I will eat red meat, but once a week. I do want a steak every once in a while, but that's what I've done, and I feel so much better. I got more energy. I don't know. I think our bodies are designed to eat food that's from Earth. You know what I mean? Natural food. Um, and more leaner meats that your body can digest better. Because red meat, it's hard to digest. But it is good for you because it's got protein and iron, but you're not supposed to eat it every day. And I had a habit of eating meat and potatoes all the time, and that's not good. You got to clean out your system. So, I mean, a salad a day, I'm always eating green food, natural stuff. I've but you guys might think about that. Um, it's easy for me to do it at work because I can't just leave my job and go eat something. So I just bring my food and just do it. And then on the weekend, me and my wife go out and eat, and we do our thing. So me and my wife Sandy have got into that habit of just eating mostly fruits and vegetables during the week. With lean meats, a lot of tuna. Um, and that's not the best tasting food, but I mean, I gotta, when you get my age, you got to do what's right for your body because your body's
Mhm.
breaking down and ain't going to last forever. But anyway, I don't want to get caught up in nutrition, but that's what I'm doing. And I feel pretty good about it. And you know what? I felt so much better since I got back and started doing that.
That's great.
And I think, and you know what? That curves overeating because you can eat salad all day as much as you want, and it's coming back out. Of course, it has nutrients and stuff, good stuff for your body. Um, but I haven't really
And
heard about people getting obese eating a lot of salads. I'm just saying.
no, it's usually the ranch dressing that's the problem.
Well,
There,
yeah,
have ranch dressing with a little bit of salad on the side.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but, uh, but you're doing well. There, it sounds like you made a lot of big changes.
I did. I was just like, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. I saw my belly sticking out. I was like, wait a minute, no. And the thing of it is all through my life, my military career, I was always fit. I mean, I was in shape. I could run a 13-minute 2 mile, and I was just, I was never overweight at all till the end of my career when I got hurt, when I developed asthma. All that stuff hit me, and the my last year in the army, I couldn't do PT because I had asthma and I had stuff going on, and my health was getting, I was having problems, and then I started gaining weight because I wasn't running 3 miles a day, and I wasn't,
Mhm.
you know, and it's been tough since then, but I'm just changing my diet altogether because it's easy when you're in the army because they beat it out of you. You could eat crappy food, but you're going to burn it off. It just, you know, but I don't have that now. I can't, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get pudgy when they retire or separate out from the military. And
Mhm.
it seems like first thing the guys do is grow their hair and grow a beard,
Yeah.
then of course everybody starts driving a desk most of the time, and fitness is not part of the daily routine.
Yeah. And, well, I grew my beard out. I had a full beard when I retired because I just let it grow. But I kept my hair cut short. I can't just let it grow. It's got to have a neat appearance. But I can let my beard grow out. I mean, I did that
Oh,
because I could never have a beard in the army, and
that's right.
but yeah, and it's funny because my son, when he comes home on leave, he grows his beard out. It's like,
Oh, yeah, no, they don't have to worry about a shaving waiver, and
yeah,
just let the beard grow out. But yeah, that all the guys do that.
yeah, it's a thing. I mean, um, but I mean, I'll have a little facial hair. I've had beards. I usually just keep my goatee and go with that. I still want to have a neat appearance. I don't, you know, but
Yeah, you don't want to look like the guys at the VA hospital there, and I hope you never get to be that point where because all my VA patients have been so sick.
uh,
But yeah, they got the ponytail going down. Even when I worked at the VA hospital in Albuquerque, a lot of the guys had grew their hair out, and
oh,
they had started wearing sandals and cargo shorts.
oh, wow! You worked at the VA hospital in Albuquerque?
Yes, it's let's see, probably about 2008. It was a
Oh, okay.
long time ago.
That's the VA hospital I go to. When I do
Yeah.
my annual appointment, I go down there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's a nice hospital.
I live in Rio Rancho. You familiar with that? I'm
I am. Yeah,
yeah.
that's where the contract company had me staying. And so yes, and drove to the VA hospital there on 5 days a week, and then I would go over to Kirkland, yeah, the Air
Yeah.
Force Base, and then I'd work out after work. So
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I'm very familiar with Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't mean a lot. I don't meet a lot of people that's familiar with my home. It's well, I grew up in Albuquerque. I grew up in the Northeast Heights around San Mateo and Candelaria. I don't know if you're familiar with that area.
Yes.
Yeah. Um
Oh, great.
it's an older neighborhood. My dad still lives there. Um yeah, but I live in Rio Rancho. Me and my wife love Rio Rancho. My wife grew up in Rio Rancho. She went to Cibola High School.
Oh,
And
yes. I know where that is.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to I went to Del Norte High School. I don't know if you know where that is. So
I think so. I think I remember.
yeah, we were like on the opposite sides of town. So yeah. But I live in Rio Rancho and it's nice. It's where the newer part of town. Well, it's its own little town. It's the second
Mhm.
largest city in New Mexico now. We've climbed to
Really?
100,000.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's exploding. I mean, people are buying houses left and right. The land value's going up. Uh,
I'm sure.
I mean, cup couple years ago, me and my wife bought our house for 250,000. Now it's worth like 350. I mean, it's just. I mean, the
Mhm.
economy has to do with it too, with the price, the
Mhm.
material
Yes.
cost and all that. But I mean, it's just it's blowing up over in Rio Rancho. Um,
Mhm. I
yeah,
can
it's
imagine.
but yeah, but yeah, it's but that's where we live. We like it. We're out in the desert. We're in the northeast part of Rio Rancho, so we're like in the newest part. I mean,
Don't, oh yeah. Probably where you live was still desert when I lived there.
yeah,
As let's see, there was a big outdoor sport complex like soccer fields and things like that, and that was brand new. And
yeah.
they built they had a CBS. So,
Hmm.
driving north had to pass by all the Intel computer buildings and the factories, and then that's where Rio Rancho was, and there was a brand new CBS on the corner,
Yeah,
and there was nothing on the other side. So I'm
yeah.
just it's changed.
Well, what's crazy is Intel really built Rio Rancho, but Rio Rancho, the thing about it is it it became a town or a community back in 1960. It was like a little community that investors from New York and real estate people got together and built a little community outside Albuquerque, and it was just like a little neighborhood. Now it's 100,000 people. It's
Mm.
just taken off, and yeah, and I live clear. I don't know where if you know where um Highway 550 is and 528, where like
Yes.
I live that far
Mhm.
out.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm
Yeah.
literally in the desert. It's funny because
Mhm.
my daughter would freak out because when we moved in our house, I mean, we could hear coyotes in the morning and stuff, and she's
Oh,
like,
sure.
she's like, Dad, they're out my window. No, they're not. They're a distance away, but you could hear them. It was like
Mhm.
we were out there, but we love it because we're close to the city, but not in the city.
Yes.
It's yeah, and I mean the crime rate's low where we're at. Um, it the cost of living was reasonable. Well, it was. Now it's just taken off, but
Yeah.
uh, But yeah. Oh, okay. So you're familiar with where I live. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, it's an interesting area, and
Yeah.
I even got used to the green chilies on everything.
Oh yeah. Oh God. We eat green chili on everything. I eat
Hmm.
green chili with grits and oatmeal and hey, I eat I eat it on pizza. I eat it in my
Yes.
salad. I look, we eat it
Hmm.
on hamburgers, steak. I mean, there's almost and you guys, if you know people from New Mexico, we love green chili. It's just a thing.
Hmm.
But we eat it with everything.
Oh, yes. There, I
But
got used to the green chilies, and so on the red chilies are a little too hot for me, but I like the green ones.
oh yeah. Well, the red chili and green chili is the same thing. It's just the green chili is not ripe yet. The red is. Um, I prefer green over red. That's just me. I like them both though. Um, but yeah,
Awesome.
Michael Ray says a lot of Native Americans around. Yes, we have reservations on every corner of Albuquerque surrounding it. Albuquerque can't grow no more. It's got about 500,000 and it's surrounded by the mountains and all three corners are reservation. Well, two of them. It can go grow out west, but Rio Rancho is like the last open area in that, in the metro area. So it's taken off. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of Native Americans here. A lot of uh different tribes and stuff. Yeah, they're all around. Um, yeah.
The the Pueblo
Yeah.
Indians there, and so I know that the different pueblos all had casinos. It's
Yeah.
also go to the concerts there, the casino. Not much of a gambler, but no, I thought that was pretty cool to go to. I saw Anita Baker in concert.
Yeah,
It's,
they come out here.
yeah, and so that was more interesting than the gambling part. But each little community, and there's even a the Route 66 themed one.
Yeah. Yeah, they I'm not a gambler either. I don't but they have people come to Janet Jackson came through here. Um yeah,
Get some
what's
big
that guy's
names.
name? Chris Brown was down here. Anita Baker, like you said. Yeah, I mean they go to these and they have like big areas where they could have concerts and stuff, and they got nice hotels. Um, but yeah, but that's all around us. That's yeah. Oh, Pro White dropped off again. What's going on with the? But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about my home. I don't know if
Oh,
people are interested in me talking about New Mexico, but that's where I live. I live in the desert, guys. I think my state has what, like 2 million people in the whole state. It's not a lot of people, a lot of open land. I mean, Albuquerque's the biggest city, and it's 500,000 approximately. So it's not really, and that's where most of the people are. Where
mhm.
you know, but I mean, if you're in the outdoors, it's a great place to be. If you like Mexican food, it's the best Mexican food in the world. I'm just going to say that. Uh, but yeah, but back to our subject. I don't want to get too far off, but um, I just think we need to have an alliance. We need to build up and just get to know each other. And it's not an alliance like people say, well, it's white supremacy, you're colluding. No, it's not. It's just we're looking for love. We're trying to come together for the best option. And nobody should hate us for that. In fact, they should lift us up. And unfortunately there's hate that goes around because of it. and that's unfortunate. But we can adapt and overcome through that.
I do think that more white men need to speak to black men, especially when we go on these channels and we hear black men saying, "Oh, white men don't want you. White men only fetishize you." Well,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, all men fetishize women, and there are good men and black and bad men in all races who only want one thing. But I feel like if more white men would stand up and speak out about, like you're speaking out
Hmm.
about their experience, as well as speaking directly to black men about these things, then it would come down to, well, who's telling the truth? Because it's like you said in the beginning, with that one troll who said, "Well, what are you doing for black women's economy?" Well, you're married to a black woman, so
Yeah.
that in and of itself is what you're doing for black women's economy. That puts at least her a little further ahead than than any other woman, and so it really, for me, it is a power. It is a matter of, even if you don't want to bring trolls on this channel, that's why I put in my comment, well, would you be willing to go on these other channels?
Yeah.
Especially when you hear them saying all day, white men don't want black women. Well, I think that white men need to stand up and stop letting black men speak for them. And
You
it's
know.
not just white men, it's white and Asian and Latino. Any race
Yeah.
of man who understands and actually appreciates black women should go to these black male channels and say, look, here's the reality.
Yeah. You know what? I'd be willing to do that in a heartbeat. I would. It's kind of tough for me to do that during my work schedule. To have to be on a
Okay.
day off, but I think I'm going to do that and take a day off and just search channels and just jump in and tell what I think.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we need to do that. And what I'm speaking about now, people will say, "Well, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, and all this other stupid crap." No, I'm speaking up for myself. I'm defending black women, in the process also, because I think black women are mistreated. I think black women are undervalued. I do. I think black women are the best, most beautiful women on earth, and I think more men should be saying this. And that includes black men, white men, and everybody. Um, but we got to defend ourselves. White people, white men, don't get so wrapped up in white guilt. Look, you were never a slave owner, so that's not your fault. You didn't write legislation for Jim Crow laws, did you? And if you did, you're so old you're about to meet your maker soon anyway. So defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. You can defend yourself without tearing into people. You really can. And white men need to stand up, get out of that white guilt, because you know what? We're all human beings. The past is not your fault. Okay, unless you went in a time machine and participated in that crap, you know. And if you're a racist, you have to do racist things to earn that title. Because you're born a white person does not make you a racist. That's just how God created you. Okay? And you're not responsible for the sins of the father or so on and so on. You're responsible for yourself. So stand up, defend yourself, be respectful. You don't have to minimize the sins of the past. We all know the evil stuff that happened. I'm not saying excuse that crap, but stand up for yourself. You're not part of that. You didn't cause that, and that's okay. And you know what? And if you love black women, show them, talk to them. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? We have every right to date and marry black women as much as black women have every right to date and marry white women. Okay? So you can do that. And yeah, we need to speak up because we got these idiots out there just degrading us over and over and over again. And you know what? That's not good. You got to stand up and say, you know what? And especially if you want to date black women, you got to prove yourself. And by doing that is standing up for yourself. Okay, there's racist white people. I'm not one of them. Okay? It's okay to say that. Well, what about slavery? Okay, it was evil, it was wrong, but I never participated in it. And it's not racist to tell the truth. Okay? That's how you address that. Well, what are you going to do about reparations? Look, what I need to do is give you the love and respect that I would expect for myself. Now, if you want to fight for representations, that's your fight. Go fight for it. Okay? I did not cause this, and I'm not excusing it either. Okay? And I'm not saying, if somehow your family did wrong or taken advantage of and they find it and you get compensation, I'm all for that. I'm not against that at all. And in fact, if we can give, illegal immigrants, what did Joe Biden want to give them? 40, I don't know, like, I forget the dollar amount, like 400,000 or something. Well, if we're going to do that, why don't we just give it to black people because they lost family members? At least they're citizens, right? Let's take care of our own. But look, we need to get beyond the past and move to the future. And I'm not saying forget the past. We got to know the past. We got to know the truth. What they say, you know about the past so you don't repeat the same mistakes, right?
Yep.
So, you know what? Stand up for yourself. You don't have to live in guilt. You didn't cause it. Now, if you did participate in it, you're guilty and you'll be dealt with by God. But if you didn't, okay, But we need to speak up. We need to quit living in this thing where we hang our head down and say, "Yeah, okay, okay, I'm a racist." Well, because I'm white. No, that don't make you a racist. What makes you a racist is your actions. What's in your heart? That's believing you're superior over others. That's trying to do harm or damage to another group of people. That's a racist. Not because you're born a white guy and they think you have privilege, okay? And there's some white people that have privilege. There's black people that have privilege. Okay? In today's world, look, I don't think I think everybody can be successful in America today if you apply yourself. Some are going to have more advantages than others. It's the way it is. And I don't think it's so much racial. I think it's mostly economical. But
Yes. Yeah, we're in agreement about that.
But anyway, there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. But and I know it's hard to do because you got that guilt there, right? It's been beat down on you. And as white people, we're conditioned to be guilty. Like, okay, yeah, we did this. Oh God, we're evil. Oh, we did that. I'm sorry. Oh, but did you do it? But anyway, I don't want to get wrapped up in that discussion. But all I'm saying is there needs to be more white men outspoken and show your love towards black women. You love black women, stand up for them. And you know what? Stand up for yourself. They're going to call you a racist if you date or marry a black woman. They're going to do it. You're not going to get it's been thrown in my face ever since I dated black women. And I got married to my wife. So what? I know what I am, and I know, I've done the right thing when it comes to marriage. So what are you going to do? Are you going to bring up the past or compete with me in 2022? Anyway, sorry guys. I just had to say that, but we need to stand up and do not be afraid to approach a black woman. The worst that's going to happen is she's going to reject you. And you know what you do when she rejects you? You turn around and move forward and go to the woman that won't reject you. Does that sound simple? I know it sounds more simple than what it is, but you know what? You're a man. You're tough. You can take it. So pick yourself up and move forward.
All it takes is one yes. Sounds
Oh,
and ask 1,000 people. All it just takes is one yes, and often that is enough.
you know what? The first black girlfriend I had, I was on cloud nine. I was like, man, she said yes. Look, I was celebrating life, and I was hugging up on her so much it was she probably. But hey, I appreciated it, right? And when black women and white men get together, we find out we don't hate each other. We find out we actually love each other, and we got so much in common. I mean, that's a recipe for total success. That's something that's the greatest feeling in the world. I'm just going to say that.
Listen, men are programmed to compete, and you're programmed to accept rejection. You're going to get rejection in every area of your life.
Mhm.
That's no excuse to not go after what you want, right?
Yeah,
That's how men are built. So if there are white men and Latino men and Asian men out there who want black women, you have to go to the black women and ask them, and you're going to get rejected. But you keep moving forward, like you said, and until you find the right one.
that's it. Well, even within your race, you're going to get rejection. So
Exactly.
what's the difference?
There isn't.
I mean, Michael Ray said I was dancing a jig. Was I dancing while I was talking? I guess I kind of was. Yeah, I'm creating a new dance in my chair. I'm getting motivated in what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, and here's the thing. Hey Mark, hey Mister, hey Mark and Triple P. Good to see you. I think it's early in the morning where they're at, like 6 hours. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Hey, let's have an alliance. These guys saying we're having a white supremacy alliance, right? Just, but we're not. And I had some guy say, you know what? Black women and white men are coming after black men and trying to destroy the community. No, we're not. It's not even. When I dated black women, you know why I dated black women? Because I love black women. You know why I approached black women? Because I wanted to be with a black woman. You know why I married a black woman? Because I loved the black woman I married. It had nothing to do with black men at all. They weren't even a thought. The only reason I talk about them here is because they come in and troll my channel and say all the loving comments that I showed you guys earlier. That's the only reason I talk about them. Other than that, you know,
They're not a factor.
it.
That's not the point of your channel.
But they want to be. A lot of these guys want to be the main focus of it. You know, they kind of interject themselves in it, and
Well, but those are also the bums that we've been
yeah,
talking about, because if they were at work, or they had to help their kids do homework at night, or they're coming back from the Pop Warner football game, they really wouldn't have time to devote to trolls, to trolling, because they have too many other things to do. So they're bums.
yeah, and it shows. I mean, if they got that much energy and time to write a novel, you see that one guy that wrote that long comment about me, you know, colonizing minds and all this crazy stuff. You know, if he's got that much energy to do that, I mean, does he have a life?
Probably not.
Uh, let's see. So you say white men and black women are stereotyped and disrespectfully generalized, but make a rant on black men in the same manner.
Can I
Oh,
answer
okay.
that one?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to say something too. Go ahead.
So what I want to say about that is that um, when we're speaking about the collective based on results that we see in society compared to results that we see from other men in communities that are actually doing well when the black community seems to always be held behind. It's always at the bottom of everything. And figuring out the reason for that has, for me, been challenging and sad and disappointing and heartbreaking, but it's also been a revelation because I've seen the only difference between the black community and other communities is that the men there, regardless of what they have to go through and regardless of what their women do, they build, they provide, they protect for their community, meaning people who look like them. But the only community where we have continually lacking, continually struggling is the black community. Okay. And so then
Yeah,
we're told, well, black women are in charge of the art, black women are the black community. And it's failing and it's suffering and we don't have though a collective of black men. Yes, there are specific black men. There's one over here, one over there, one over there, one way on the other side of the earth who are doing things, but all that spreading out is not bringing enough of a foundation to have a stable community overall. And this
yeah,
we see in every country that is led by black men. So we're looking all over the world. We're looking at Europe and Asia and Africa, and we see that the commonality is that there are groups of men who say, you know what, we're gonna stand up and be men. We don't care how our women wear their hair. We don't care what our women are doing. We're gonna do it because we're men, and this is what men do. And those countries are for the most part thriving. Those countries, their women are protected more or less. Those countries are the ones whose women are put on pedestals. And those are the men who find a way to make things happen instead of saying, oh, every other man should be doing this for me because they did this to me 100 years ago. Right.
yeah.
So those countries are, they're sustaining themselves. But the thing we see is that in countries that are run by black men, majority of those countries are poor. Now this is fact. If you can show me where I'm wrong, please do. But put it in writing. Put it in something that says, okay, Africa, the countries in Africa are the most thriving. But that's
Yeah.
not we know that's not true, right? So we're discussing this is what we're seeing happening in the world based on what groups of men are doing and not doing, and based on what groups of women are doing and not doing, and based on what groups of women have to do and don't have to do, right?
Oh,
It
yeah,
so yeah, go ahead, but that's what I want to say to that mentality. It sounds like a
yeah.
blaming mentality.
And here's the thing. Why do I need to do the same thing for black men? Shouldn't you be doing it, sir? Shouldn't you be standing up for black men? Shouldn't you be saying why black men are the best option? And shouldn't you be holding up the example? That's what I'm doing. I look at stats and I know you're not going to like it, but black women have more successful marriages with white men than black men. In today's world, that's just the truth of it. That's what it is. And yes, black women and white men are the most disrespected. They are. You can't tell me that they're not. And a lot of white people have white guilt, so they won't stand up to you, sir. They'll just put their head down and just let it go. But here's the truth of it. You need to stand up for black men, not me. Okay. You need to do it for you. You're the leader in your community, are you not, sir? Be that leader. You know, and motivate other black men to marry black women and get on their butt why they're not doing what they're supposed to. That's what you should do. It's not my job to uplift black men or go on a rant for black men. That's your job. I mean, and you should be uplifting black women and seeing the blessing you have that you're throwing away. And I'm not saying you specifically because I don't know you, but I'm saying, you know, generally by the numbers, okay? Because most black men are not married. Most black women are not married. So what's going on? And why do you attack white men with black women when there's 73% of black women not married? Come on. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. But thanks for your comment.
I believe the rant had to do with the trolls earlier in our conversation.
Yeah.
And other than talking about how no woman wants a bum for a husband, there are all sorts of bums, and that's not a racial issue. It's just I personally did not want to marry a bum, and so it turns out my husband is not a bum, and we've been married 12 years. I just don't like bums. So we'll see what is added.
No, I don't want to speak on anything for black men. I just ask for us to be generalized and not all. Okay, well, not all black men are doing this. I get it. Not all. I'll give you that. There are good black men out there. I'll give you that. But statistically, it is what it is, and that's why I think we should open up our options. And honestly, marriage is horrible in all communities, so we all need to open up our options and stop being in that segregated mindset. That's what we need to do. But you know, but it's not generalizing black men. It's not. It's just telling the stats. It is what it is. But black women are generalized, attacked, and black women are having their face pushed in the mud and getting the blame, and I see that. And I take offense to that because I'm married to a black woman. I have 2 biracial daughters, and they do not like to see black women attacked, and neither do I. Anyway, but yeah. But I guess he's saying we're generalizing. Is that what it was?
Well, yeah, he needs to go over to the manosphere and talk to them about generalizing first.
Yeah, and
then we'll talk. Then come back over here and tell us the great job he did at that.
Yeah.
Because it's sad because black men will only stand up for black men, but to an extent, right? They'll come online and complain and cry, but they won't go to the Supreme Court and demand anything be done for them or black women, right? They'll come online and say, well, what are you doing for black women's economy, when it's them who should be taking responsibility for black women's economy. So it's very weird. I don't like what I'm learning at all about black men in the black community, but it's life. It's what's happening. So
yeah, but he got his say in. Okay, we got our opinion. Yeah, good for you. Welcome to the channel. Hey, make sure you give me a thumbs up, Mosley Gino. Okay, give me a thumbs up on your way out, or a thumbs down. You can give me that too. It helps the algorithm. But thanks for participating, huh?
Yeah, the thumbs down actually help your channel. So yeah, if all the disgruntled trolls want to to show their support, They have an option.
That's right. Yeah. And even making comments like this helps my channel. So thank you,
Mhm.
sir. You're helping build the Roadrunner network. And yeah. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you listening to our discussion this late at night. See, I got fans. I mean, these trolls are my biggest fans.
And
It,
maybe the trolls will also share on what we discuss. It's like, share, and subscribe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like, share, subscribe. And you know what? Hey, and trolls, when I get that White Zaddy King merchandise, I'll sell it to you. I'll give you a discount. No,
So,
actually, I don't even care about that. But I just, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
okay.
You
Well, I'm
have to
going.
offer them Patreon.
Huh?
Get the trolls on Patreon to get the T-shirts.
Yeah. You know what? I I thought about Patreon, and I wasn't going to do it because with my job situation, and I thought, well, I don't want to bring people in to have them pay for something I can't give them a good product. I'm just happy with I'm just happy with doing the YouTube thing, but I don't know if one day I'm going to be shut down because somebody gets their feelings hurt, or
Mhm.
but I might go into that in the future where we have a Patreon where we could come together and talk about what we want to without, being, totally screened on everything. Um, all right. I'm a troll asking for the same respect you ask for. That's a white man for sure. You all be blessed. Okay. I'll give you respect. All right. Thank you for coming on. God bless you. I have nothing against you. You got your opinion. That's cool.
That's true.
Um,
But one more thing I'll say: white men never asked for respect; they earned it. Right? They earned it by showing that they're loyal to their women, that they're builders, that they're providers, that they're protectors. So no one's going to disrespect the man who shows what he's made of and who's willing to do what he needs to do to make sure that people who look like him get ahead in every circumstance.
yeah.
Right? The history maybe is iffy. I agree. But I was just thinking about this today because I saw a video where a woman was saying, what have men done? Look where we are because of men. But she was saying, we have crime, we have war, we have all this stuff. And yes, we have this stuff and I don't like it. But you know what? I don't want to be sitting in a hut somewhere either,
Yeah.
with
And
by living by candlelight. So it goes both ways. There are
yeah,
a lot of
but
advantages to where we are now too.
I will talk about respect. Mosley Gino, do you know that most of the attacks I get are from black men? You know that black men have cursed me out, that have called my wife punk ass, bed wench, and called my kids half breed bastards. Do you know that? Um, and I'm not saying all are doing this, but is that respectful? I mean, I've been getting hate ever since I started this channel,
Mhm.
and just for showing love for black women. And look, I love black women. I compete for black women, right? But I mean, there's so many more women than men. Why are we fight? Why are we even going at each other about this? Women choose the best option. That's just. But you know what? I never go on a black man's channel and ever troll it and say anything respectful. I never have. And I especially don't go on a black man that has a wife, whether she be black or white, and disrespect him or his family. I never do that. I would never do that in a million years. But men have come in and done that to me. So is there the same respect going both ways? No. and most of the attacks I get are from black men. And it's not all. I'm not going to say all black men just do this. No, it's the weak ones. It's the ones that are insecure, that are jealous. You know, I I can separate that from the rest of the collective. Yes, it's just the ones that have issues. But there's when it comes to respect, I think it's kind of lopsided. But I respect you coming in and giving your opinion. I'm not cussing you out or calling you names. So, you know, we can agree to disagree, and that's what it's all about, really. But anyway, all right, ladies, sorry. Just
Oh, okay.
the solar
Okay.
eclipse, no. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump off. It's late here. So it was good talking to you both.
All
Oh,
right, good talking to
likewise.
you. Thanks for coming on. And
Oh, yes, almost been 3 hours.
oh yeah, good night. It is 3 hours. Wow. There's still 62 watching. Wow. Thank you guys. I appreciate this. This is awesome. I know I carry my shows a long time. I do. Because I love talking to you ladies and you guys that come on. I like having these discussions. This is what we need to do. And I think black women, white men, we have to have an alliance. Why not? As long as we do it for the right reason, for love and finding the best options. Let's do this. I'm already married and I already live my life, but there's a lot of young black women, white men, or Asian men, or Hispanic, and hey, open up your options. There's good and bad in every group. Find the best of what you like. Find the best of what you want, ladies and guys too. That's what it's all about. You know what? And it's survival. You know, getting that best option. Ladies, you want the man that's going to provide and protect and take care of your needs, right? And guys, you want that woman that's going to have your back and you can build with. That's what it's all about. And that's what we need to strive for. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. It is late. It's 11:30 my time. I know the East Coast is what 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
So yeah, it's a bit late, and I'm sorry I was late coming on. It's just my job's just unpredictable. It really is. Uh, but it's all good. I love doing this. I had a great night tonight. I think we had a good discussion, and I
We
hope
did.
everybody got something out of this.
We did.
And we need to open up our options. We need to, s- you know, open up our options to each other. And we need to stand up. And white men, get out of your comfort zone. Stand up for yourself. Okay. You're going to be called a racist and a fetishizer. It's just automatic. Just know you're not that and just be the best man you can and reach out to that black woman and show her you're the best option. And you know what? Hey, you'll be surprised what blessing you will come upon. And that's
And
what it's about. But
and can I just say, Brent, thank you for speaking the truth and for sharing your experience, because I see so much information flying around the internet, and a lot of it is just wrong or it's one-sided. And
yeah,
I'm a person, I just want to know the truth, right? Because I can deal with the truth. I can't deal with being deceived 101 ways. So I appreciate
yeah,
you speaking your truth and speaking your experience and saying something positive about black women. I'm so sad that there's so much negativity going on around us. And yeah, we're not perfect, but nobody is, right?
yeah.
Can we get a break?
And I would say, you know what? Black women, look, since I was a little boy being babysitted by a young teenage black girl, I felt love from black women. And it was a spiritual experience. It was because I seen the true beauty in black women when I was a boy. And that's when your love is pure because there's no lust, there's no what does the body look like type crap. It's just you feel true love. And I felt that throughout my life. And Black women, you have shown me that you are the most beautiful, you are the most loving, you have the most character. And why should I suppress that or hide that? It's the truth, and it is what it is. And you know what? I want to uplift black women because black women have uplifted me. I feel I owe you that much. If I go on every night and say how awesome and beautiful black women are, to me, I don't even think that's enough to repay you for the blessing that you have given me, black women, seriously. When it comes to growing up, when it comes to my marriage, ladies, you are beautiful in more ways than you even know. And I know not everybody tells you that. I know men in your own community degrade you, but you are the best of the best. You are the most beautiful too. So don't let any of that crap get to you. Um, just know you're the best option and you deserve the best option for you, regardless of what that man is or what color he is. I'm not uplifting white men like I get accused of. I'm uplifting black women. And black women, I hope and pray to God that the marriage rates go in your favor within the black community, within the interracial community, or whatever community you choose to be a part of. I pray to God that you get the best of the best because you are the best of the best. And I'm going to just say that as I close and shut this down tonight. And ladies, thank you for coming on. Kay the Creator, Mercedes, uh, Pro White Leadership. Thank you so much, ladies. You're what makes this channel what it is. And you're a blessing to me. And, I thank you so much. And I had an awesome night tonight. I'm going to sleep good because this was a beautiful discussion. And ladies, you are beautiful. And it's an awesome blessing to have the privilege to talk to you tonight. And I'm just going to say that.
Thank you.
So,
Well, thank you, Brent, for another lively conversation. And so we will regroup another day.
yeah, we will. And we'll have another good one. I'm going to have a prayer meeting tomorrow sometime. Um, everybody's welcome to that. And you don't have to be a Christian to just come and view it or come in. All I ask is you just be respectful. That's it. But I try to do that to uplift and show my love for God. That's what I'm doing. But ladies, I love you. You're awesome. And keep your head up, ladies. You are doing the best because you are the best. And don't let nobody tell you different. Okay?
Awesome.
Well, have a good evening. Thank you
Thanks. Good
again.
night, everybody.
Thank you and good night. But I had a good night. And I'll see you guys on the next live. You have a good night. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you sometime tomorrow. I don't have a time yet. I got some things going on, but I will post about an hour prior. So, but anyway, I had a good night. Thank you guys for coming on. Thanks for being a part of this. Uh, but I love you ladies and guys. I love you too. You guys are awesome. Uplift black women. Let them know how beautiful and special they are. We already know that they're awesome and beautiful, but it don't hurt to say it over and over. We need to do that. But anyway, have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you guys on the next live tomorrow sometime. Have a good night.